global catastrophe. But I fell in love with killing. Because whoever I kill, I gain their skills. And they automatically upgrade to the strongest SSS level. In my area, most people have only awakened F-level skills. Only one person has awakened an E-level skill. Everyone started looking for him to team up. They thought an E-level skill would allow them to run rampant in this world. I silently looked at my first skill, F-rank air compression. The next second, the system automatically upgraded it to SSS rank air domination. Then I heard the person with the E-rank skill as their captain say to me, "Kid, wanna join us? My awakened E-rank fireball is not fast enough. Come over and carry me." As the holder of an SSS rank skill, I decisively refused. Go be a lackey for an E-rank weakling? I'd rather be a lone wolf. This made Xiao Zhang, who had just been given a good licking, and possessed an E-rank skill, feel quite uncomfortable. He thought to himself, I'm an E-rank skill holder. I'm giving you a chance to cling to my leg, and you actually refuse? You have no idea how high this guy is. He didn't want his otherworldly shipping building plan. It just started and I was blocked. He immediately came up to me and showed off the fireball in his hand. He said, I'm an E-rank skill holder. Are you sure you want to refuse? The people around immediately echoed him. I advise you to agree. A weakling like you, without a big brother to protect you, you won't survive the night, believe me. Our Black Tiger Guild is destined to go down in history. Join us now, and you'll be a founding member. We don't care if you're weak, what are you waiting for? Before the awakening of dual systems, with my F-grade useless skills, I might have chosen to join a group, to increase my chances of survival. But now, I have 3 S-grade skills. Accept an E-rank skill holder as the boss. Would people point at my back and laugh if word got out? I'd be laughed to death. I was about to say something else when I saw a husky behind me. I checked with the system and found out it was a household dog. Its strength and speed were several times that of a normal person. It was just right to try out my SSS skill. Zhao Xiaojiang said again. Just call me boss and I'll save you. Otherwise, just wait to die. Ignore him when you see me. He was furious. His chest heaved, not intending to give me another chance. It was perfect to let my men see what happens to those who don't submit. Facing the approaching dog, running at full speed, I raised my arm, making a gun shape. The people around me all said, is this kid crazy? Were you scared, silly? Why are you making that gesture? The next second, I saw myself pressing down my thumb, which represented the trigger, with a bang, in front of everyone's astonished eyes. The corpse dog was torn into pieces. There was also a 10-meter wide depression in front of me. All along the way, whether it was rocks or trees, or even a 6-story building, everything was destroyed. The destructive power. It's not an exaggeration to call a battleship grade cannon fire. Everyone is wondering if all this has anything to do with me. For some reason, they now feel like a sword is hanging over their heads. It could fall down at any moment, cutting them in half. I didn't expect this to happen. I only used 2 or 3 tenths of my strength. If I used my full power, how amazing would it be? Piercing through a city with one blow wouldn't be a problem. Truly worthy of being an SSS skill. Killing the zombie dog also earned me a little bit of kill points. Kill points are like currency that can be used to buy items in the system. I heard a terrified voice behind me. I turned my head to look. I found that the 3 most ferocious barkers were being held back by 2 other guard dogs. Each one of them had bared their fangs, their expressions fierce. One of the guard dogs even had a large part of its leg rotted away. It couldn't cover its sharp fangs. The whole thing was exposed to the air, full of power. If you get bitten by this, it's sure to go deep into the bone. Zhao Xiaojiang stepped forward. Don't panic, I have fireball magic. He immediately turned his palm upwards, summoning a fireball. He raised his hand to throw it at the dog. But to his surprise, the dog was extremely agile and he couldn't hit it. Even with both hands. He couldn't even graze the dog's fur. What kind of dog is this? How can it be so fast? Can't an E-level skill even deal with a small monster like this? What's the point of playing anymore? Zhao Xiaojiang is about to break down. Seeing this, the 3 of them started running. Zhao Xiaojiang saw that he was about to be caught. He summoned a fireball and threw it at his teammate. The other person's pants leg quickly caught fire. Immediately after, they were both tackled to the ground by 2 corpse dogs. They were attacked by both flames and corpse dogs. His vision blurred. Zhao Xiaojiang gasped for air. Cold sweat poured down his face. He scrambled out of the door, slamming into it. The bang instantly drew the attention of the corpse dogs, who released their half-dead, bloody prey, and charged towards him on their powerful legs. Zhao Xiaojiang quickly got to his feet. Who cares if I'm in pain or not? He ran towards me, intending to use the same trick, taking advantage of his status as the leader. He commanded the other person, quickly use him as bait, to attract the attention of those 2 zombie dogs. Otherwise, we can't escape, we'll all die here. The other person hesitated for half a second. He finally agreed with a nod. Why did he hesitate? It was because Zhao Xiaojiang's E-level skill wasn't as invincible as he imagined. He couldn't even handle a few dogs, but it wasn't completely useless. All along, he never associated the terrifying trail of destruction with me. He fought the slaughter of the world. It's normal for something out of the ordinary to happen. He convinced himself to sacrifice 1 person to win a chance of survival for himself and Zhao Xiaojiang. He bent down and picked up a small, not very wet stone. A stone that could be held in 1 fist. He prepared to use his speed advantage, quickly circling behind me to knock me unconscious. Seeing his teammate circle behind me, he raised his arm, aiming at my head. He was about to smash down. Zhao Xiaojiang smiled. At the same time, he let out a long sigh of relief. He had a chance to survive. The next second, Zhao Xiaojiang was suddenly scared and stopped. The other person was also dumbfounded. He suddenly couldn't feel his arm anymore. He turned his head to look. He realized that his shoulder had a perfectly clean incision. The whole arm, I don't know when it fell to his feet. He felt his blood run cold. The fuel was so thick, it made it impossible to breathe. He didn't even have a chance to scream. A constricting feeling came from his neck. He reached out to grab it, but couldn't grasp anything. The feeling of suffocation grew stronger. Bloodshot eyes. He panicked. At first, I didn't care about the pain. Tearing away flesh meant nothing. I just wanted to breathe fresh air as soon as possible. Not only can I compress air into projectiles, but I can also compress air into an invisible, intangible string, or even a knife, sharp beyond compare. A successful kill automatically grants me 1% of their skill's movement speed bonus. Automatically upgraded to SSS class infinite teleportation. It was okay the first time, but the second time, Zhao Xiaojiang couldn't deceive himself anymore. He knew this had something to do with him. At this moment, the 2 corpses were closing in on Zhao Xiaojiang. Their legs powered up. They easily leaped a meter or 2 in the air. Then, he heard a bursting sound in his ear. Then, a thick, cold liquid splashed onto his face. He looked down. The heads of 2 zombie dogs were pierced and are suspended in midair. What kind of skill is this? Could it be an S rank or double S rank? Recalling the previous disastrous shot, Zhao Xiaozhang's mind immediately flashed with the thought of 3 S ranks. Global disaster, but I've fallen in love with killing. Because I can get someone's skills just by killing them. And they automatically upgrade to the strongest SSS rank. The air compression skill in my hands is air dominance. The speed boost in my hands has become infinite teleportation. The person in front of me is inexplicably envious and jealous. He was just trying to use me as bait to get himself out of this situation. So now, he knows better than anyone that I won't let him go. Zhao Xiaozhang doesn't want to die with a chest full of anger. He's not going to suffocate on it. So he speaks, don't think you're so great. You're just lucky. I awakened with 3 S-class skills, so, if neither of us has any skills, you definitely won't beat me. The next second, his pupils contracted sharply. His eyes widening like bells. He saw clearly, from a distance of over 10 meters, that I teleported in front of him. A cold smile curled my lips. That's right. I just got lucky, don't you know? Is luck part of strength? I not only awakened an SSS skill, I also have 2, and soon there will be a 3rd. Zhao Xiaozhang's pupils dilated. He wanted to say something, but my wind blade pierced through him the next second. I obtained my 3rd skill, an E-level fireball. It automatically upgraded to 3S level annihilation heavenly fire. There was another person lying there, half dead from being bitten by the corpse dogs. It's all the same whether I die or not. I'd rather have them turn into my skills. I just actually threw a wind blade, and I got another F-grade skill, throwing. It automatically upgraded to SSS grade 10-fold gravity. This feeling of having achieved is incredibly exciting. It makes me excited about the future. I opened the system panel of this world to see what I could buy. Then I saw people asking for team-ups in the world chat. There were also guild creations. A guild created by a D-rank skill holder had countless people vying to join. D-rank skills are so rare. So what kind of monster am I with 4 3S rank skills? Without dwelling on it, I opened them all. The goods inside were more plentiful than I expected. From handguns and rocket launchers to sniper rifles, even a Gatling gun, everything you need. From food, water, combat gear, there's a wide variety. A Gatling gun only costs 10 kill points. It shows how high the cost effectiveness of these skill points is. But think about it. A squad with only a D-rank skill and 2 F-rank skills faced the S-rank boss. A one-sided crushing trend. It seems not that easy. I spent 2 kill points to buy food and water from the mall. The kill system has a built-in backpack with 10 slots, where you can store items. You don't have to carry them all the time. It would only slow you down. I ate a can of beef and drank some water. Suddenly, I heard a familiar growl coming from behind me. Turning around, I saw dozens of zombie dogs. I had no idea where they came from. There were Shiba Inus and golden retrievers. From big Alaskan Malamutes to small Pomeranians, I have to say. The variety was quite rich. These flintlings just handed themselves to me. I have no reason to refuse. This is my important food source. Direct purchase is obviously more reliable than scavenging in the ruins. It's hard enough to find them. And who knows if they're expired once you do. What if I get sick from eating them and have to go to the hospital? Will I find a mourning family's nurse and doctor to treat me? After confirming all the dogs were in range, I swung my arm inwards and crossed it, sending out 10 blades of wind. Those 15 dogs were all cut into pieces of different sizes. The cuts are even. Thick, black blood slowly flows out. The organs that have rolled out have already been eaten whole by white shrimp insects. They burst open as soon as they hit the ground. There are at least 100 of them. They are practically waving their plump bodies in the blood plasma and rotten flesh. They are obviously scared. The 18th point of killing, the card easily obtained. Using this SSS level skill feels so good. And this scene was witnessed by someone who had just woken up inside the building. He watched the entire thing. He was just celebrating the fact that he had awakened a E-level skill. Maybe he could sweep away the decadence of his past life. In this world called Kill, he could achieve something. Then I saw me waving my hands. The shocking scene of instantly killing dozens of house dogs out of thin air. I was so scared that my whole body trembled, and I didn't dare to breathe. I couldn't stop sweating. I used my hands to cover my mouth tightly. I was afraid of making a single sound. If I attract your attention, you will kill him together with me. That little bit of pride, crushed to nothing by the powerful strength I displayed. It was completely destroyed. At this time, I received the system's daily task, to go to a designated location and kill 5 mutated spiders. The task location is 1 kilometer away from me. I don't need to go through the trouble of traveling by foot, within my line of sight. I can directly teleport there, achieving spatial jumping. There are 2 ways to use infinite teleportation. One is within sight. One is where you've been. I can see hundreds of meters at a glance, aiming at a 30-story building. My whole body disappears instantly. The man hiding behind the wall is startled again. And by then, I'm already at the top of the 30-story building, overlooking the city. Because I'm standing high enough, I can see the marker directly. Then I can teleport to the mission location, standing in front of the mall. It's quieter than I imagined, like a graveyard. But the more quiet it is, the more restless I feel inside. I've circled this abandoned mall a few times, but haven't found the mutant in the mission. The next second, I hear a voice from behind me. Stop, don't move. He won't listen to me. He still tried to turn, and the man pulled the trigger. However, the gunshot did not stop me from turning around. I just saw a person in front of me. Their face was being held tightly by a spider. 8 spider legs were piercing the flesh and hooking onto it. The man seemed to have taken drastic measures. You could see the wounds where the flesh was torn apart. The spider was only slightly smaller than the man's head. It was able to wrap its legs around his entire face. Only his eyes were visible through the gaps between the spider's legs. They were bloodshot and completely red. If you didn't know any better, you'd think he had conjunctivitis. The man said hurriedly, "Come here. Help me get this thing off, or I'll kill you." Even though the kiss was forceful, it was easy to hear. More fear and panic. I'm sure the man before this wasn't this weak. One should say, a normal person wouldn't be as skinny as a bag of bones. It's quite clear that the facehugger is crazily sucking his nutrients, until he was completely drained into a dry husk. The system tells us it's a facehugger mutated spider, a species adept at ambushing, waiting for the perfect moment to launch a frontal surprise attack. If you're caught by it, you won't be able to break free. You'll be slowly drained of your blood until death. See, I'm still standing here like an idiot. He stared at him, motionless. The man, enraged, shouted, "You little punk, are you even listening to me? Are you deaf or just stupid? Do as I say, or I'll shoot you." For someone who's going to die anyway, I don't want to waste my breath. It's better to kill him yourself than to be drained to death by the mutated spider. Send him off quickly and get a new skill. The next second, the man felt a gust of wind hitting his face. It was very strong, like invisible hands slapping his cheeks. Slowly lowering his head, he looked at the large hole pierced through his chest. The man's mouth opened, unable to conceal his shock. He gained an F-rank skill, Pistol Mastery. It automatically upgraded to an SSS rank skill, Firearms Mastery. From what I saw in the World Chat channel records, players kill players. It's possible to get skill drops, but the chances are extremely low. However, it seems like I'm enjoying 100% skill drop rate due to the second system. Why do I feel like this system is trying to make me into a complete and utter murder machine? Just casually wiping out the face-hugging spider, and picking up the man's dropped gun and 9 bullets. I'm still missing 4 mutated spiders. I've searched everywhere, but I haven't seen a single one. I also want to find a place to rest before nightfall. Thinking about it, I'm not going to waste any more time. I decided to change my approach and walk over to the tempered glass window. My gaze immediately locked onto a tall building, and I teleported over there. At the same time, at the crossroads a couple of 100 meters away from the shopping mall, a man and a woman were walking down the middle of the road, vigilant of their surroundings. They were heading towards the mall. I noticed their presence. I was a bit surprised. I didn't expect to see a couple in this place. Public displays of affection, you'll die soon. I muttered to myself, then raised my right arm. I decided to try out the SSS class skill I've never had the chance to use, World-Ending Inferno. Based on my understanding of this skill, destroying half a city would be a piece of cake. However, it requires a long preparation time. I only plan to destroy them all, since those little spiders are unwilling to come out. Then I'll just destroy their nest. Global catastrophe. But I fell in love with killing, because I could gain the skills of whoever I killed, and automatically upgrade them to the strongest SSS level. The most ordinary fireball spell in my hands is a world-destroying fire. A casual fire spell could destroy this entire shopping mall. The couple passing by thought the sun was falling. The next second they saw it was me casting the skill, and they were both stunned. This skill is beyond their comprehension. Immediately, the woman thought that she could get close to such a big shot. Surviving should be a simple matter. They also received a mission from the mall. But with the mall being razed to the ground by me, they also received a mission prompt. Mission location destroyed, mission failed. Do big shots complete missions like this? Go your own way and leave others with nowhere to go. The key is that you don't dare complain. What if the big boss hears you? A fireball would hang over your head. Then even a few lives wouldn't be enough to die. As I watched the mall be destroyed, I also received a task completion prompt. I got an F-grade task package. This divine fire descends. It also earned me more than 50 kill points. It's a bumper harvest. Since the mission is done, it's time to find a place to stay. But I keenly sensed a dark shadow running quickly through the dust. The next second, a giant creature was revealed. It was a giant mutated spider. It didn't need much mutation in appearance. Creatures like spiders, when you zoom in hundreds of times, the details become clear. And they're terrifying. Its hard, brown, earth-like shell is cracked in many places, with large chunks falling off, revealing its pink flesh. It actually withstood my apocalyptic fire. This thing's shell can't be harder than reinforced concrete. It most likely sensed danger and escaped ahead of time. But it was still severely injured by the fireball's aftershock. It charged towards the couple. Even with my teleportation, I wouldn't have had time to react at that distance. The man didn't even have a chance to react. His chest was already pierced by the giant spider's leg. Only then did he realize and raise the bow in his hand. The next second, he was tightly bound by the giant spider's silk. He hadn't even died yet when a giant spider bit off his upper body. Blood splattered everywhere. Another woman was frozen in terror. Then she suddenly cried out, "Please save me, I'll do anything for you. I'll be your slave. I'll serve you for the rest of my life." These words, of course, were meant for me. She knew the owner of that fireball was still nearby. This was her only hope. The woman considered herself to be somewhat attractive. Maybe she could use that to impress me. But there was no response. Meanwhile, the giant spider had finished consuming the man. One of his shoes dropped down in front of the woman. Her mouth dropped open, watching the giant spider approaching her step by step. The woman was speechless with fear. Then, a familiar feeling in her chest. She was pierced by the giant spider's leg. The next second, I appeared in time. Slowly raised my hand, made a pistol gesture and pulled the trigger. Silently and quickly, before the giant spider. Sent the woman away from this world unsuitable for her. I immediately gained his rank skill, Perception Enhancement. It automatically upgraded to SSS rank Danger Perception. The remaining spider was crushed by the air pressure when I casually squeezed it, leaving it unable to move. A small fireball appeared in my hand. I casually threw it into its abyssal maw. The next second, the fireball expanded in its belly, blowing it open. Killing this giant mutated spider only earned me 3 kill points. It wasn't as bloody as I imagined, because most of the flesh turned into charcoal. It's a pity to waste an SSS level skill earning opportunity. Looks like I need to be more decisive next time. Let that giant spider take advantage. 3 kill points are good, but I'm an adult. Getting them all was the basic operation. Then I started teleporting around the world, looking for a place to live. Dirty and messy, I can still barely tolerate it. These broken, tattered, weak walls, full of cracks. Even the walls with large holes. I'm worried that, while I'm asleep, zombies and monsters will sneak in and take my life. Fortunately, I got the SSS level Danger Perception skill from the woman, which allows me to sense and predict all attacks in advance. Combined with infinite teleportation, my chances of survival have increased by tens of times. I teleported to the top of a tall building and looked around. Finally, I settled on a glass skyscraper. Roughly estimated, it must be at least 100 stories high. There's a huge hole, several meters in diameter, above the rooftop. Did a monster do this? A monster that could cause this kind of damage. How enormous must it be? I teleported to the opening and looked inside. Using the last bit of sunlight, I could vaguely see the real reason behind this huge hole. A fighter jet burning down to its skeleton. The sun was completely down by now. Darkness completely enveloped the world. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face. It seems I'll have to find a way to get a night vision skill. I suddenly remembered that I saw a night vision scope in the system store before. It only cost 1 kill point, but it was really heavy and would affect my movement. And it had a green vision screen. The next second, I spent 1 kill point on a powerful flashlight. The same kill point. The only solace is that this flashlight has an infinite power source. It could be used forever. Pressing the switch, a beam of light illuminates the surroundings. The farther away, the blurrier it gets. Occasionally, there are faint noises. I choose to go straight to the fighter jet. I shine the flashlight into the cockpit. It's a blackened skeleton, still strapped in. The helmet is just a broken metal shell. Suddenly, I felt a chill run down my spine. A scene quickly flashed through my mind. The next second, a strange sound came from the skull that had been lying still. To be precise, something was moving inside it. I quickly rolled to the side. A long, wriggling creature, like a spring, shot out from the suddenly opened mouth of the skull. It flew past my face, almost touching me. It landed about 2 meters away. I quickly shone my flashlight over there. I found a long worm, at least 2 meters long. It was pieced together in sections. They were different lengths, flattened, and had a sucker mouth. I always felt this thing resembled a tapeworm I saw in a biology book when I was a kid. A type of human parasite. I turned my head toward the skeleton in the cockpit. Could this guy have been parasitized by it? So that's why he lost control and crashed into the building? The damn thing actually wants to parasitize me? I summon a ball of fire. The flames illuminate the whole area, and I suddenly realize that I have such a useful lighting skill. Why did I spend a kill point to buy a flashlight? On the other hand, the parasite seems to be afraid of fire. It immediately closed its mouth after seeing the flames. Its intended escape method was similar to that of a snake. I wouldn't give it a chance. Predicting its movement, I launched a fireball directly at it. The fireball exploded immediately, the flames engulfed in a 3 to 4 meter range. With such a wide range, it seems I didn't need to predict anything. The parasite was engulfed by the sea of flames. It let out a piercing shriek. It kept flipping its body, and numerous tiny, hook-shaped spines emerged from its surface. It must be used to fix the inner organs and the flesh wall, to prevent it from being expelled by the parasite. I gained another killing point. I looked at the skeleton beside me. This could be considered revenge for him. I retracted the flame in my hand. The orange red light was too eerie. I'm still more used to the bright white light of a flashlight. After all, you can't return killing points once you've spent them. This was originally a hotel. I just picked a room and settled in. I went to the door shut of the shoe cabinet. Lying in bed, I opened my system backpack. I decided to open the F-level mission reward package from the previous mission first. I wonder if my dual system can bring me any pleasant surprises. Global catastrophe. But I fell in love with killing. Because I can gain the skills of whoever I kill. And they're automatically upgraded to the strongest SSS level. The newbie battle gear from the beginner's pack is the biggest insult to me, an SSS level skill awakener. To me, these machine guns, bulletproof vests, and grenades are all useless. Having several SSS level skills is the best equipment. I just hung it up in the auction house to exchange for food. Food is more useful to me than this equipment. Weapons and ammunition were definitely hard currency at the beginning of the apocalypse. The auction house blew up the next second. What kind of big shot uses a novice battle set to exchange for food? Suddenly, people started bidding with a box of plain bread. I wasn't interested in those big shot calls. Many people have already taken out all the resources they could. The system automatically sorts by value, and displays it on the right side of the screen. Currently ranked first is 2 cans of monkey meat, 1 can of coffee, and 1 box of water. The exchange name is Chi Lu, which sounds like a woman. It also notes that this is all she can offer now. And if it's not enough, she will collect more food later, and will supplement for you, never breaking her promise. I didn't rush to agree. I wanted to see if there was anything more valuable to exchange. Half an hour passed, and no one could surpass the first. I didn't want to waste any more time. So I chose the first person and confirmed the trade. The pistol and bullets I found in the mall were also exchanged for a box of plain bread. The woman on the other side who received the beginner's combat set was extremely excited. Her skill is the rank gun queen. But the gun queen has no gun. It's difficult to move an inch in the killing world. However, she was lucky to be born in a small grocery store. She found 2 boxes of luncheon meat in a box in the closet of the grocery store. That's how the auction house incident happened. She put on her bulletproof vest. She took out her battle assault rifle, and the moment she held it, everything felt new. Everything around me became incredibly clear. It swept away all the despair and gloom. Finally, I had some confidence in the matter of living, but I hadn't myself after buying all weapons. My stomach was growling constantly. I was completely the opposite. I had just finished 2 plain loaves of bread, a can of luncheon meat, and a bottle of water. Go ahead and eat your fill, enjoy yourself. There's plenty of resources, no need to be frugal. Eat and drink your fill, then get ready to sleep. Close your eyes and you hear explosions outside, one after another. Aren't they sleeping at night? Do they have to go and fight those bloodthirsty monsters? Walking to the window and looking down. An off-road vehicle races ahead. And after that, there's a surging tide of people. Looking closely, it's not people, it's a horde of monsters. Sure enough, night is when these creatures really come alive. I haven't seen anything like this during the day. Their running speed is almost like a normal person running at full speed. Plus, with such a massive number, it's overwhelming. Anyone seeing this would probably be terrified and go weak in the knees. The most ridiculous thing is that they have no physical limits at all. They can maintain this speed until they die or until dawn. These people below are not running away, but are running around the hotel with the intention of killing the hotel guests, playing a game of chasing the guests around the hotel, while they frantically pull the triggers and detonate bombs, their maniacal laughter, plus all sorts of vulgar and boastful words. It's not hard to prove they're enjoying the killing. In such a quiet atmosphere where you can hear a pin drop, the zombies are launching a chase battle. The NER sound coming out of their mouths is already hard enough to sleep through, not to mention the constant sound of ammo being fired. How can anyone sleep with this noise? I'm not going to baby them. This is killing the world. Courtesy and tolerance are things that need to be deleted from the dictionary. One teleport and you're on top of their car. The sound of the impact on the roof, coming out of nowhere, surprised a few people inside. They thought a zombie had jumped on the car while they weren't paying attention. At this time, a man leaned down and looked at me. It was actually a living person. Sorry, but we don't allow hiding in line at this party. If you possess an S-rank skill, perhaps we could consider it. The reason the man said that wasn't to give me a chance. He was simply teasing me. Because S-rank skill owners, up until now, they haven't even heard of one. The highest they've heard of is a C-rank skill. A man's voice urged from the driver's seat. What are you talking to him for? Just shoot him and feed him to the zombies. We're running low on bullets. It's a good opportunity to buy time and find a chance to slip away. I spoke slowly. Your madness doesn't concern me. But you're interrupting my peace, and that does concern me. A burst of laughter came from the car. You're saying we were too loud and disturbed your sleep. So that's why you snuck up onto our car roof? And you still had to throw in some insults after that? The person who leaned out raised a gun, aimed at me, and was about to pull the trigger. But then he saw me raise my hand. My fist opened, palm facing him. Do you think you're made of steel? That you can take a bullet with your bare body? He laughed and wiped away the tears of laughter from the corners of his eyes. The skill you awakened. Couldn't it be a clown? Someone who specializes in making others laugh. But the next second, he couldn't laugh anymore. I only saw a wisp of flame rising from my palm. Before he could beg for mercy, he saw a column of fire shooting towards him. The gun in his hand had no chance to fire before it instantly melted. Blood splattered on the wind was one of the doesn't hear ears. The woman in the driver's seat was startled and slammed the steering wheel. The driver's seat man was scared and slammed the steering wheel. The car crashed into the nearby utility pole. The utility pole fell down and crushed the car. I was busy collecting my loot. I attained the skill F-class ammo replenishment. It automatically upgraded to SSS class infinite ammo. I gained 10 kill points for the other guy. Another man raised his gun and said to me, "You little punk. It's all your fault. You ruined our car. How are all those zombies behind us supposed to escape?" I said, speechless. "If you don't have the ability, then don't provoke them." These words further enraged the man. The woman beside him added fuel to the fire, saying, "Punga, kill him and get some more blood. Those monsters love the smell of blood. We can escape while they're distracted. I'll be ready to pull the trigger in a second." But then something felt wrong. Why can't I feel my fingers? In the blink of an eye, the scene changed. My gun was cut in half. It's the same with fingers. The roots hadn't escaped. The woman realized something was wrong, and remembered that her boyfriend had just died in a burst of flames. This person is still barehanded. Could he be a high-level skill owner? Thinking about it, the woman didn't say much. He thinks I can't see him because I'm facing away. After looking around to confirm the route, she took a step, planning to escape. But she stumbled and fell to the ground. Pain surged through her brain. Turning back, she saw her legs lying half a meter away, blood gushing out. "No, I don't want to die. Tucson, please save me." The woman's lips moved, her hands gripping the ground as she crawled. "I'm going to end his suffering. Don't kill yourself, you wouldn't even get a single skill." An air bullet silently pierced through his brain. The next second, he obtained an F-rank skill, Farsight. It automatically upgraded to SSS rank, 1,000 miles high. Unfortunately, it wasn't night vision. The man on the ground had given up hope of survival. He began to laugh. "Don't get cocky, those guys are about to catch up. You won't be able to escape then. Prepare to be torn to shreds." The tide of zombies was only a couple hundred meters behind us. He decided to die and take me down with him. I looked at him with disdain. Then I raised my arm, aiming at the group of zombies. A fireball, starting the size of my palm, expanded visibly. Within a few breaths to a diameter of 2 or 3 meters. The next second, the fireball turned into a huge beam of light, shooting out dozens of meters away. The man on the ground was speechless with shock. His eyes widened in terror. He could clearly see a bunch of humanoid black shadows struggling frantically within the flames. In the end, even their skeletons turned into dust and disappeared. Global catastrophe. But I fell in love with killing. Just because I can kill someone and gain their skills, and automatically upgrade them to the strongest SSS rank. This person disturbed my sleep. I can only reluctantly take on multiple SSS rank skills. A wind blade invisible to the naked eye sliced through his neck. Another F rank skill acquired, skilled driving. Next second, it automatically upgrades to god level driving. Whether it flies in the sky, runs on the ground, or travels in outer space. As soon as I touch the steering wheel, I instantly become a seasoned driver. After taking care of those people, I looked towards the room where I slept earlier, instantly teleporting back to bed. Finally able to fall asleep. When I woke up, I was going to buy some toothpaste and a toothbrush from the system shop to freshen up. But I found there were no toiletries inside. Did the system not expect anyone to be extravagant enough to need to brush their teeth and wash their face the next day? To start living a refined life? There's nothing I can do, so I'll just open the trading center. I'll post that I'm trading a meat can for a toothbrush and toothpaste. As expected, it's caused a huge reaction. Wow, everyone's starting to think about brushing their teeth now. Here I am worried about having no food to eat. They're thinking about how to maintain their health. This name looks familiar. Isn't this the Big Shot who traded a novice combat set for food yesterday? Big Shot, please let me cling to you. I'm a cute girl. You just need 3 cans and a bottle of water. I can warm your bed for you every day. The funniest part is, someone said you can have a girl warm your bed every day if you offer 1 less can than the girl above. I'm speechless looking at these comments. I just want a toothbrush and toothpaste. These girls fighting over a man never even dreamed that. In the Heian period, it would be a beloved beauty. Killing in this world is less important than a toothbrush and toothpaste. Some time passed. Finally, someone took out a toothbrush and a tube of toothpaste. They took out the mineral water and started brushing their teeth. Just then, I saw an email in my system. It said the Heaven and Earth rankings would be released. This is a world of killing, not a game world, but it even has rankings. Besides promoting competition and fueling players' desire to kill, I can't think of any other use for it. I took a closer look. This Sky ranking is just a personal combat power ranking. The Earth ranking is a daily kill count ranking, updated every morning. The higher the ranking, the richer the rewards. The reward did catch my attention. I opened the ranking list and found that I was the first. I've killed over 1,000 zombies. I guess I have to thank those 3 crazy people for staying up all night. The reward is a map of this city. It can show all the physical features of the city and navigate you around. Then I opened the Heaven ranking. There was only one name inside, and it was mine. The reward is an elite difficulty trial card. It's the key to open the path to the elite difficulty trial. Upon clearing it, you'll receive a lot of special rewards. You can't get out without completing the mission. For me, who has 8 SSS level skills, what's there to hesitate about? I'll join directly. But then a return mission popped up. The trial card will expire even if I don't use it now. If I go back, what if I miss the daily mission? It would be a pity. The daily mission is to go to an abandoned chemical plant and kill a mutated creature. The words simple mutated creature are simply too vague. Any monster in this world, even the dead, can be called a mutated creature. Most importantly, this usual task is different from the last one. It doesn't restrict you to completing it alone, meaning you can team up. After teaming up, everyone shares the reward. As long as one person completes the kill, it's considered that everyone has completed the task. The amount of reward remains the same. It's obvious that the difficulty of this task is significantly higher than yesterday's. I decided to go and take a look first. After a few consecutive teleports, I arrived at the entrance of the abandoned factory. Upon arrival, I discovered that dozens of people were locked outside the abandoned factory, unable to enter. I casually asked someone what was going on inside. A guy from a guild called Blood Wolf said this mission was theirs, and no one else could participate. To join them, you need at least an E-rank skill. They even had a D-rank ability user there. The group of F-ranks at the entrance were too scared to resist. If you had any use, you could join their Blood Wolf guild and share the mission rewards. A bunch of people started shouting they wanted to join Blood Wolf. Some were genuine, some were not. Of course, the people from the Blood Wolf Guild weren't fools. They would have a verification process after letting someone in. Those who tried to take it would be mercilessly beaten to a pulp. They'd throw them out like a dead dog, begging for mercy wouldn't help. This was to intimidate the others. So far, there hadn't been any movement from the abandoned factory. Not a single sound. The Blood Wolf Guild members weren't in a rush to act. He obviously wanted to take this opportunity to recruit more potential members. I decided to use these people to test the waters. I went to the door and said I was a B-level ability user. The guard looked at me with a suspicious expression. Eventually, he opened the door. Walking to the end of the corridor, I saw a man holding a rubber baton. He looked like he was ready for some physical labor. He impatiently urged me to demonstrate my ability. He simply threw a small fireball onto an iron bucket, and it exploded right there. The man was so scared that he sat down on the ground. Then, applause erupted. A man in a trench coat walked towards me, smiling and saying, "That's beautiful. That move was incredible. I declare that from this moment on. You are officially a member of our Blood Wolf family." Then I started confronting the other party's identity, asking who they were. The person next to him immediately said, "You idiot. You have no eyes. This is Tao Yong, our vice president of the Blood Wolf Guild." Tao Yong's facial expression instantly changed when he heard this. He immediately kicked the young man with a cruel cut heart in the chest. Then Tao Yong asked with a cold face, "Who gave you permission to speak to my brother like that? Don't mind me, kid. My dog's not feeling well. It's hard to find an E-level rookie." Tao Yong doesn't want to lose this golden opportunity because of the young man's rudeness. He doesn't want the bird to fly away after it's already cooked. You operate it yourself. Join the team. The mission starts right away. I scan the area, including myself, within the factory walls. There are over 20 people. Everyone's eyes return to the two people in charge of opening the door. One person presses both hands against the large iron door. They look at each other. After nodding, they both exert all their strength, pushing inwards. After a short while, the iron door opens about 2 meters. It won't budge any further. Tao Yong ordered the two of them to go inside and take a look. Though they both looked reluctant, they had no choice but to follow his orders. As the lowest members of the guild, they had no say. Going in, they might die at the hands of the monsters, but staying put, they would definitely die at the hands of Tao Yong. The two entered the factory, one in front of the other. A few minutes later, 2 human projectiles flew out. It flew close to me. Its waist and abdomen were severely deformed by the grip. Blood flowed from 7 orifices, and the fingerprints were so wide. You can imagine how enormous its owner would be. I took advantage of the fact that no one was paying attention. My hands were hidden behind my back, and I shot out 2 thin lines. I cut the necks of those 2 people. I gained 2 more 3S level skills. Global catastrophe. But I fell in love with killing. Because I could obtain the skills of whoever I killed, and automatically upgrade them to the strongest 3S levels. The 2 people beside me were too ugly to affect my boss fight. I could only tearfully accept 2 SSS level skills, a volley of arrows and 100 solutions to hidden weapons. Now I have 8 SSS level skills. To keep a low profile, I'll pretend to be a new rank rookie and join the team to fight the boss. As soon as I joined, I got close to the giant. It breathes fire, and shoots ice bolts. It's just like scratching an itch for the giant. Then the team captain also made a move. He jumped out and chopped off the giant's right hand with 1 sword strike. But I was almost killed by the titan's punch. Finally, someone yelled at me and told me to stop watching and start using skills. The next second, I slowly raised my arm. A half-meter fireball appeared in my palm. Then 1 meter. People around started feeling hope for survival. The fireball continued to grow, reaching 2 meters. People around started panicking. Is this a new rank skill? Will it accidentally hurt us? The fireball was still growing. Finally, when it reached 3 meters, people started to run. They ran as far as they could. They were afraid they wouldn't be able to escape and be melted by it. Meanwhile, a big question formed in their minds. Is this really a new rank skill? As they were lost in their thoughts, I combined my compressed air skill. The instantaneous release accelerated the fireball's speed. After a loud boom, all that was left were 2 giant footprints on the ground. But the giants were reduced to ash. Is this really the power of a new rank skill? The captain's D rank skill couldn't even touch those giants. This is too strong. Could it be an A rank skill? Or even an S rank skill? I only heard the system's prompt that the mission was completed, and I also received an E-level mission package. However, what reached others' ears was that the mission failed. The mission target was killed. At this time, the captain stepped forward and asked me why I didn't team up with them. I just lightly asked him back. Why should I team up with you? The remaining 2 people immediately drew their guns and pointed them at me under his gaze. I couldn't help but laugh. I wouldn't dare point my gun at the monster. But you dare point it at me who killed it? From a long-term perspective, you wouldn't be able to use such a powerful skill frequently, would you? Seeing that I didn't speak, he smirked, knowing he had guessed right. The next second, the sound of bullets being loaded kept coming out. Then the captain said, "I advise you to surrender. You have to thank yourself for being lucky. I'm willing to give you another chance to be my slave." I didn't even bother to answer. I just raised my hands. But he thought I was going to surrender. He kept yelling about what you surrendering would be now. But then I heard strange noises behind me. I turned around and saw several teammates scratching their necks. They were kicking their legs hard, but nothing could change it. My eyes quickly returned to me. Before I could react, I saw my little finger move. 3 heads rolled to the ground. A series of skill prompts rang out. Obtain 3 SSS class skills. Dragon Flame Breath. Absolute Zero. Infinite Acceleration. Everyone at the door was stunned by this sight. I just moved my finger and took the lives of 3 people. Could it be another S-class skill? Is he a double S-class skill holder? Then my ring finger moved. I gained the SSS class skills Ghostly Phantom Steps and Purple Extreme Magic Eye. This is no ordinary magic eye. Not only can it see through and sense heat, it can even turn day into night and fear no darkness. I have absolutely no guilt doing this. They were the ones who pointed guns at me first. Then it was just heads rolling. I gained 3 S-class invincible golden bodies, the ultimate swordsmanship. Heavenly water descended. Control over objects, invisibility. All that was left was the captain kneeling on the ground, trembling. Thinking about it now, it's a bit of a pity. I should have made my move earlier. It's such a pity so many people were killed by the giants for nothing. This captain is still a D-rank skill holder. Their skill is Sacred Clay. It automatically upgrades to SSS rank Angel Paladin. They can summon a Radiant Holy Sword. They can also heal themselves, even if they have only a breath left, they can recover completely. Seeing a guild. So many people killed by me out of thin air. I still don't understand what method they used. The people outside didn't dare to stay any longer. They fled in all directions like rats. They were afraid that I, with my red eyes, wouldn't let anyone off. I didn't care about those people. I opened the E-level mission reward package to my system. It was actually 10 attribute points. No matter what it's for, just add 1 point to each attribute. After adding the attributes, I can definitely feel the difference, even without using skills. This body is completely different from before. My movements are more agile, my punches are stronger. My muscles have also become much tighter. I put my thoughts aside and opened my system bag again. The light focused on the elite trial card. Over a dozen SSS level skills are in my hand, especially the skill Angel Paladin Soil. I thought to myself, even if I couldn't instantly kill it, I could still wait down and kill it. Without hesitation, I clicked to confirm and used the elite trial card. The next second, a vortex gate appeared in front of me. Immediately, I stepped inside. I looked up at my surroundings, and found myself on a street. It was no different from the street environment in the previous city, ruined, filled with despair and quiet. I was vigilant, not daring to let my guard down. Suddenly, I noticed a snail crawling out of the sewer grate hole at my feet. I lifted my foot intending to crush it. But at that moment, my crisis sense warned me not to. To be safe, I condensed an air blade. With a single strike, I cut it in half. The severed body continued to twist. It spewed out green blood. As the blood hit the ground, it quickly bubbled and smoked, releasing a strong sulfurous smell. It turned out that this snail's blood had a terrifying corrosive property. At this time, a series of noisy sounds came from under the manhole cover. Then the manhole cover was lifted. The next second, the manhole cover was completely flipped over. A large number of snails erupted like a geyser, shooting up 2 or 3 meters high. They fell down like a dense rain of drops, pap pap pap. I don't want to be touched by these guys. If I get bitten, the corrosive venom will enter my blood. It's estimated that it would instantly burn through my bones. The next second, a figure teleported above me, and then a fireball smashed down. Then the fireball exploded. The flames shot out in all directions. 360 degrees, no dead angle. It created a wall of fire 2 or 3 meters high. It ferociously eroded and engulfed the army. It's just a pity that these guys are too weak to even be in the kill reward range. Otherwise, I guess it would have crashed the system. At least tens of thousands of kill points would have been earned. At this moment, I transformed into a fire mage, continuously forming large fireballs in the air. I hurled them down. Although they weren't as dense as raindrops, the scene was several times more stunning than a torrential downpour, wasn't it? After throwing hundreds of fireballs, the snail tide finally stopped. But the next second, a crisis alert appeared. I immediately teleported tens of meters away. Looking back, I saw that where I was standing, 2 silver blades, 2 to 3 meters long, suddenly erupted from the ground. They carved an X-shaped cut. The ground then arched up and fell to both sides, revealing a creature with hundreds of legs. It stood 5 to 6 meters tall. Its body length was estimated to be 20 meters. It appeared before me. Global catastrophe. Yet, I fell in love with killing. Just because I can kill someone to gain their skills, and automatically level them up to the strongest SSS rank. A measly 20-meter-long snail dares to challenge me, just casually throwing 2 heavenly fires at it. Its massive front claws slashed down like knives. Just the air currents from the swing split the 2 fireballs in half. You can clearly see a cut mark several meters deep on the ground. It then charged right in front of me. Its 4 silver arms swung down, but they missed their target. I had already teleported behind it, into its blind spot. First, I used air lines to wrap around the giant snail's limbs, restricting its mobility. Then, I condensed hundreds of air blades and fireballs on its head. The next second, the fireballs and air blades fell simultaneously, exploding its skin and flesh. It spat out an unknown liquid at me in retaliation. Little did I know that beneath my sense of danger, all of the giant snail's attack methods had played out in my mind like a movie beforehand. Even without the ability to teleport, I could easily dodge them. The giant snail's liquid spray was not only stinky and corrosive, but also beyond what those little entertainment kids could handle. In just a few seconds, a meter-deep pit was melted out of the ground. This thing is too dangerous, I can't give him any chance. Immediately, I tightened the airline and cut his body into pieces. The next second, the system notification sounded. Congratulations, host, you have cleared the level. You have gained 10 extra backpack slots in a Tyrannosaurus larva. Also a poisonous dagger and a supplement solution. This Tyrannosaurus snail larva is essentially a pet. I can command it freely. The next second, the teleport gate opened to the side. I heard a few people being attacked by monsters as soon as I stepped out of the portal. The place I came out was random. Yesterday's hotel location was so good. I just hope it's not too far away. Before me stood a 3-meter-tall water giant, made entirely of water with a black shadow inside. Standing in front of it, I felt tiny and powerless. Even knowing bullets wouldn't have any effect. The man beside me kept pulling the trigger. The muzzle flashed, a stream of fire. I could see clearly how the bullets, upon entering the water giant's body, immediately slowed down. A string floated out, swirling with the water currents, gently wrapping around the water giant's body. Then, in an instant, it tightened, pulling taut, slicing open the water giant's chest. But this kind of attack wouldn't work on it. It would just stick back together the second it was cut. It's a good thing I didn't aim for the water giant in the first place, so I can't really say I'm disappointed. The moment the water giant's body separated, the black shadow in the middle was separated too. I obtained the F-rank skill stone, Petrification Armor. It automatically upgraded to SSS class Earth Armor. This stone armor skill allows a layer of rock to cover your body's surface. It's a skill that strengthens your defense. It also slightly increases your attack because your fists and feet become harder. After upgrading to SSS class Earth Armor, your size increases and the hardness and thickness are astonishing. Not only that, but you can also manipulate soil and rocks for your own use. I watched as the water giant drew closer. The man began to think of a way out, his eyes turning towards me. He used a skill, and I suddenly felt darkness before my eyes. Then, I felt a push from behind. But the man's strength wasn't enough to move me. I turned around, facing him. The man looked a little embarrassed. You need to hear me out. I bent down and picked up the gun the man had discarded, which was out of bullets. Under the SSS level infinite ammo skill, the empty magazine was instantly refilled. The man tossed it, take the gun, and turned to run. He believed that if he ran fast enough, he wouldn't become the target of the water giant, sacrificing myself to save him. Though it feels like I'm failing him. But I'm sorry, in a world like this, mercy is doomed to a short life. A man wants to live, so he must be ruthless. He hadn't even taken 2 steps when gunshots suddenly rang out. A sharp pain in his chest. The white clothes were quickly stained crimson by the oozing blood. The man's face was full of confusion. He had just run out of bullets. Even if my hands were faster, it wouldn't be possible in a second or two to change the magazine, right? I won't be merciful to anyone who wants to use me as a scapegoat. Raise your arm, raise the muzzle a bit. Aim at the man's back of the head and pull the trigger. Congratulations, host, you have obtained the F-grade skill Blind Eye. Automatically upgraded to 3S grade Ghost Blind Eye. I thought I had some kind of health problem. Turns out it's that guy's skill. He can cast it on a single target, making them lose their sight for 1.5 seconds. But after upgrading to SSS class blindfold, the target is no longer limited. The time they lose their sight is extended to a minute. During that minute, all sorts of ghosts and monsters will appear. Anyone with a weak mental capacity could be scared to death. But this skill is not very effective against monsters, especially the ones with low intelligence, that only know how to kill. The next second, my crisis sensing ability triggered. I teleported 3 meters away, turning around to see the water giant's water claw miss its target. They say water fire are incompatible, water conquers fire. I don't believe it. I think that as long as the fire is strong enough, it can absolutely evaporate this water giant in front of me. It's a good opportunity to test the SSS Ray Dragon Flame Breath I obtained earlier. I snapped my fingers. The next second, golden light appeared beside me. A dragon head, in size comparable to the water giant, appeared out of thin air. The dragon's mouth opened, and a tornado-like flame erupted, an incredible sight. This power, this temperature, can easily turn a person into charcoal dust. After all, it's my own skill. Even this close, it won't burn me. The two collide, a sizzling roar. Large amounts of colored gas rise, like a mushroom cloud. The dragon's head, the flames show no sign of diminishing. The water giant's size is shrinking at a visible rate. From 3 meters, it's evaporated to 2, then 1, even half a meter. It finally melted, but I didn't receive a system prompt. Looking closely, I noticed a few drops of water remaining. They coalesced together and quickly flowed along the brick crevices. They didn't continue to attack me. Instead, they fled towards the fountain pool. At this distance, it would be impossible to use my breath to stop them. It was definitely too late. And as I predicted, that's exactly what happened. Those few drops of water reabsorbed the fountain water. Its body continuously swelled and restored to its original form. Then, it replenished the details, contours, and muscle lines. The water giant successfully completed its rebirth. It's a pity it's not human. I'm quite interested in that ability. What having skills represents that ability? Monster skills, though, are out of reach. I can't get them. Though the fight just now almost evaporated the water giant on the spot. It didn't seem to have any intention of stopping. Moving towards me, planning to continue its attack on me. The dragon's head was still floating beside me. I didn't need to speak, a thought opened the dragon's mouth, and it once again spat out dragon flames to bake the water giant. These scenes repeated perfectly. The water giant's water wasn't enough to withstand the dragon's fiery breath. This time, it learned a lesson. After its body's water was severely evaporated, it reacted quickly, trying to escape back to the fountain pool. Of course, I wouldn't give it that chance. I teleported to the fountain pool first. I lifted my toes off the ground slightly. I spread rapidly. In the blink of an eye, the entire fountain pool was completely frozen solid, 3 layers deep. There wasn't a single gap. SSS class absolute 0. Don't even mention a small fountain pool. If I want to. Everything within my sight can be frozen solid in an instant. The miniature water giant slammed into the ice. It found that it couldn't penetrate and couldn't absorb water to restore its body. But the next second, it was surprised to find that it could absorb water. The ice was actually melting. It hadn't noticed what was causing the ice to melt. It was greedily absorbing the moisture, wanting to restore its massive body. Under my exertion, the fireball above my head grew even larger. The fountain seemed small in front of the fireball. As the ice melted, it was quickly evaporated by the high temperature, forming a thick fog. The fireball fell, and all the moisture instantly evaporated. Kill successful, gaining 10 kill points. 10 kill points. Is this guy twice as strong as the giant mourner? Shenmue doesn't know if that's the right way to calculate it. He feels that other than being able to recover with water, there's nothing else that stands out. Or is it that his own SSS class skills are too overpowered? And at the same time, in the region chat channel, solo kill. This message appeared, and immediately exploded in the region chat channel. Damn. So strong. One person solo killed an elite boss. This Shenmue is too strong. Who is he? Thanks to him, we were spared from being slaughtered. Right. The monster setting is too absurd. It keeps hunting players if you don't kill it. This forces you to not slack off. You have to desperately improve your strength. I always thought I had awakened an F-rank skill. Bad luck. He was reborn in a different region. This one, Shenmue, if I remember correctly, he's most likely the one on the heavenly ranking, the earth ranking. He's the top of both rankings, right? What? A ruthless person. This matter. Shenmue was unaware of. He at this moment had a look of surprise, looking at the system prompt that suddenly popped up in front of him. Congratulations, host, for successfully killing the water giant. Completed the elite boss subjugation mission in the area. Calculating rewards. Calculation successful. Congratulations, host, you have obtained a water giant summon card X1. Summon card. Shenmue was quite interested in this reward. He was rather interested. Open the system backpack. Choose to view details. Use it for your own benefit. Duration. Only 10 minutes. That's too stingy. Shenmue said speechlessly. But, on second thought, just find the right opportunity. For example, when there's a zombie horde, when a large number of monsters appear. Summon this guy. Even for just 10 minutes. It's enough to earn a lot of kill points. Take the chance to improve your strength. For ordinary players, that is. It belongs to the powerful props. For players with strong skills, it's just icing on the cake. As for Shenmue, he can play with it. It's purely fresh. Trading. There's no need to give someone else such a powerful prop. In his eyes, those over 10 billion people were all competitors. He wasn't disappointed. After all, Shenmue didn't know at the beginning that there would be such an event. When he went to the trial ground, it was an unexpected gain. In the following time, Shenmue planned to take a break. He had just experienced 2 battles. He had to take a breather and replenish his energy. He randomly teleported to the top of a tall building. He sat in a corner, in the middle. Calm and composed. Take out the bread, tear it open, then scoop up a spoonful of beef. Sandwich it with another piece of bread. The bread, which was initially a bit hard, has softened considerably after absorbing the broth. One bite. So satisfying. Totally inhumane. It feels like an outdoor picnic. Except this view doesn't look very good. Luckily, it doesn't affect Shenmue's appetite. I'm sorry. I apologize. I deserve to have my woman taken from me. It's my fault for being incompetent. I shouldn't have been your enemy. Please. Spare me. Chen Mu was eating. Suddenly, a man's shouts could be heard from afar, as well as the sound of a car engine, and the cheers of several people. I put down my water bottle, burped to relieve my fullness, lowering my head, my gaze, revealed a group of people driving towards me. A man was chained to the back of a car, and dragged on the ground, while behind him were a dozen or more feral dogs chasing after him. They all wanted to tear a piece of flesh from the man. He was so thin. It looked like he hadn't eaten for days. His eyes were blood red, saliva splattered. The man struggled to straighten his back. He tried to minimize the area of his back that rubbed against the ground, but wherever he went, there were still blood stains. This greatly excited the pack of dogs. People these days, are you all so good at playing? Chen Mu said speechlessly. I'm playing with your woman. That's because I think highly of you. Otherwise, why wouldn't I just go play with other women? Don't you think so? On the platform truck, the youth's behavior was bold. Standing on the back seat, legs raised high, stepping on the tail of the car, acting domineering. Yes. You are right. A man wants to survive. He has to endure humiliation and carry a heavy burden. I'm putting a green hat on you. It's because I think highly of you, right? The young man asked again. He laughed even more recklessly. Brazen. Yes. Please spare my life. I don't want to die. His voice was filled with sobs. He just wanted to protect his wife. That's all. These men were lustful, and wanted to force themselves on the man's wife. The man fought back, but he was no match for them. He was pinned to the ground. He watched helplessly as they tore his wife's clothes apart. Finally, his wife, unable to bear the humiliation, bit her tongue and killed herself. The young man was not interested in the naked body. He was furious. He decided to take his anger out on the man. And this is what happened. Spare you? Are you kidding me? Your wife's being unreasonable. She's making me burn with anger and I have nowhere to vent it. Now, I have to use your death to help me cool down. The young man scoffed. He laughed at the man's naivete. Then, he gestured to his companion in the driver's seat to slow down. This would give the pack of dogs a chance to grab their legs. They'd bite down. Then, they'd accelerate instantly. Screech. The man's legs, along with his pants, were brutally torn apart by two immense forces. He fell unconscious, due to excessive blood loss, and eventually died. It all happened so quickly. At that moment, the youth chooses to release the iron chains. After breaking free, the man's body is quickly wrapped in circles of iron chains. Sparks fly from the ground, but still cannot stop the fierce attack of the hounds. This is exactly what the youth wanted. Force. Then seize the opportunity to team up with his companions. Take care of the zombie dogs. Get the kill points reward. For a life of unlimited fun. Add bricks and tiles. Bought from the city. Just before they make a move. Bang. Gunshots suddenly rang out. Successfully killed the guard dog. Congratulations, host, you have gained 1 kill point. The one who fired the shot was none other than Chen Mu. SSS level firearm mastery, paired with SSS level infinite ammunition. He killed dozens of guard dogs. In the blink of an eye. The young man heard the gunshots, and thought someone was attacking him. He quickly jumped out of the car, and hid behind it. Then, he looked up. Focus on Chen Mu, who is sitting on the roof, holding a gun and harvesting the pack of hunting dogs. He is gritting his teeth. His fingers clenched tight. That damn guy. He dares to steal our prey. Doesn't he care about his life? Boss, let's sneak upstairs while he's not paying attention. Go up the stairs. Take him down. Someone suggested it. The young man nodded in agreement without hesitation. Scared? Don't be ridiculous. They are 3 people. 2 F-level skills, plus an E-level skill. What reason do they have to be afraid of Chen Mu alone? The young man's E-level skill is called Shield Wall. He can summon a giant shield out of thin air. Forget bullets. Even a grenade exploding in front of him. This is the confidence of youth. He curled his lips. A cold smile appeared on his face. He would definitely make Chen Mu understand the consequences of daring to steal his deal. How terrible it would be. He'd also harvest his killing points. This is called the man stops his idea, unaware of the way behind. There's danger lurking behind. They all rushed to the top floor in one breath. The door lock was rusted, but this kind of door can be kicked open with a single foot. The 3 were not worried at all. The young man named Zhu Yonghong was also the leader of this group. Time for skills. Block his bullets. Once you're close enough, you 2 find a chance to take him out. Got it? Yes. Got it. They nodded firmly. In unison. Bang. The words had just left his mouth. Zhu Yonghong raised his leg. With a hard kick. With a thud. He easily kicked the door down, leaving a half-foot deep imprint. The hinges were severely rusted. It snapped right off. The inside was already broken into pieces. They saw Chen Mu still sitting on the ground. He wasn't responding. The gun was lying beside him. He had no intention of picking it up. Zhu Yonghong, the 3 of them. I feel like you're underestimating me. Hey. Are you deaf? Can't you hear? Zhu Yonghong roared. The other 2 companions already had their pistols loaded. Their hands gripped tightly, locking on Chen Mu. Thinking he has the advantage. They smiled at each other. Didn't aim for his head, but his chest. Larger area. Easier to hit. They were not like Chen Mu, having a 100% hit rate. Just waiting for Zhu Yonghong's order. He has the mental preparation to fire. There's always a shot that can be fatal. Don't worry. Chen Mu picked up the last piece of beef, and put it in his mouth. He wanted to tilt his head and drink the remaining soup. I thought about it, and decided to use the bread to soak up the leftover meat scraps on the inside of the can, and grease, and puff it into my mouth. It's incredibly satisfying. I'm about 80% full. Boss. This kid doesn't even take us seriously. Just take him down. Enough is enough. Zhu Yonghong nodded in agreement. I don't want to waste time. No need to waste skills either. Unlike Chen Mu's SSS skill, The skills of the few of them, each time they release, they consume a large amount of stamina, and also have a cooldown time. The SSS skill itself also has a consumption. It's just that, when it auto-levels up, the system erased this setting. That means, all of Shenmu's skills have no cost, and no cooldown. He can use them without limit. Shenmu would call it the most broken skill in history. Single-eye aiming, confirming there's no error. He pulled the trigger. The bullet spun rapidly and shot out, but he couldn't see any blood coming from Shenmu. He missed. That shouldn't be possible. The buzzcut guy thought. His shooting skills shouldn't be that bad. Hey, look at the ground. The other man with blonde hair exclaimed in horror. Zhu Yonghong. The man with the buzzcut immediately looked down according to the blonde man's words. His eyes widened as he looked. His pupils dilated. He just felt unbelievable. On the ground, besides the fallen shell casings, there's actually a bullet that's been perfectly sliced in half down the middle. How is that possible? An inexplicable fear arose in me. I don't believe it. It must just be a coincidence. The crew cut man comforted himself. He pulled the trigger again. But no matter how many times he pulled the trigger, the result was the same. Shenmu was unharmed. Yellow hair. The crew cut man couldn't see the bullets clearly, but you could see several more bullets cut in half on the ground. Split in two. How could this be? Dumbfounded. The buzz cut guy had run out of bullets. As he was about to reload, to continue his attack on Shenmu, blood suddenly exploded in front of me. My hands were actually falling to the ground, right before my eyes. I stared, with my mouth wide open, my expression twisted. Ah. My hand. Why? I don't understand at all. At this moment. What's going on? Why was the bullet cut open? Why was my own hand cut open? I'm dreaming. I must be dreaming, right? This smile is uglier than crying. While trying to comfort myself, the pain in my severed hand intensifies crazily. It floods my brain. What the hell kind of sick skill is this? Zhu Yonghong panicked too. Quickly raise your arms. Cast your skill. A semi-transparent golden shield appears. It completely covers the three of them. This should do the trick. Zhu Yonghong briefly breathed a sigh of relief. Shenmu's skill is so strange. It's something I've never heard of before. Unprecedented. He's been closely watching Shenmu's actions. Absolutely certain. He didn't make any related movements. So how did he do it? Creepy. It's really creepy. Go quickly and bandage his wound. I'll go first. Zhu Yonghong ordered the other person. At the same time, it was clear to see. Shenmu raised his hand, forming the shape of a gun. Zhu Yonghong's brow furrowed slightly. Is this guy crazy? The next second, he saw his thumb pressing down slightly. A cracking sound. Zhu Yonghong's eyes widened. His mouth gaped open. He froze on the spot. He saw it clearly. His own shield, shattering into countless pieces in an instant. This shield that could withstand a grenade explosion couldn't even stand against Shenmu's playful attack. Are you sure you're not joking? He even began to doubt if he was currently dreaming. Before Huang Fa could even respond, he saw the giant shield shatter. My mind completely broke. Instead, I became even bolder. My hands were clapping. The lightning patterns on them flashed incessantly. Then, the spear. I grabbed it tightly with my 5 fingers, raising it high. He shouted, "I'll fight you to the death. Die." Sizzle sizzle. He threw a lightning spear. Electric patterns wrapped around it. It looked quite intimidating. The blonde was stunned. It seemed like the lightning spear pierced through Shenmu. But it didn't actually inflict any damage. In fact, the lightning spear didn't pierce through Shenmu. Instead, Shenmu used his ghost shadow technique to dodge the spear. But his speed was too fast for the naked eye to see. It looks like they went straight through. New skill. Ghostly concealment. Raises a hand, a swipe, draws a semicircle in the air. Instantaneously, the three of them go blind. Demons, magic, ghosts, monsters, all come out. For example, the thing Shorty fears most, a snake. He was tightly coiled by a giant snake. His neck was being squeezed. The feeling of suffocation was intense. At the same time, the snake's head emerged from the back of his neck, facing the crew cut. It flicked its tongue. No, don't roll your eyes back. Revealing a large patch of white. The giant snake paid no attention. Suddenly, it opened its blood basin. Mouth and bit. Kill successful. Congratulations, host, you have gained an F-grade observation enhancement. It automatically upgrades to SSS grade see-through eyes. That's right. The buzz cut was scared to death. And this SSS level see-through skill, if Shenmu understood correctly, after activating it, it could see through players, zombies, and monsters, thereby revealing their fatal weaknesses. This would allow him to act faster, to harvest more effectively. Congratulations, host, you have obtained an F-grade lightning spear. It has automatically upgraded to an SSS grade lightning king. The name says it all. You can control the power of lightning. The way the blonde died, lying in bed, but I kept hearing faint breathing sounds coming from under the bed. My body involuntarily leaned forward on the bed. I bent over to look. My eyes peeked out. I discovered it was a woman with disheveled hair. Her face was pale as paper. She had a rigid tongue that was a couple of meters long. Suddenly, a hand reached out and wrapped around Yellow Hair's neck. It dragged him forcefully into the darkness. Hoo. As for Zhu Yonghong, he was quite a surprise to Shenmu. He thought Zhu Yonghong would be like the other two. He was nearly scared to death. I didn't expect him to pull through. He doesn't look very good. Covered in cold sweat. His eyes are wide as saucers. He's gasping for breath. His chest is heaving up and down. Looking at the scene before him that had suddenly changed again, Zhu Yonghong could no longer tell what was reality and what was fantasy. A dream. His mind was in a mess. Like glue. Zhu Yonghong is going crazy. If he had known this would happen, He would never have dared to challenge Chenmu. What's the difference between this and suicide? You. What kind of skill do you have? Zhu Yanghong knew that he was going to die today. At least before he died. He wanted to figure out how he died. He didn't want to die without knowing. To this, Chenmu responded with action. He raised his right arm. Fingers spread. Thunder power surged. Electric patterns densely covered his skin. Snap. The moment it hit the ground, a charred mark was left behind. That lightning spear was about 7 or 8 meters long, half a meter thick, and could grow even larger. But there was no need. With a little force. It's like splitting bamboo. The thunderous light is blinding. Zhu Yanghong squints his eyes. He can't open them at all. He remembers. The blonde guy also knew this move. But in terms of power, in terms of spectacle, it's completely incomparable to Chenmu. He doesn't even deserve to carry his shoes. Wait. Could it be? Thunder piercing through the chest, emitting hundreds of electric patterns. His flesh and blood were charred inch by inch, until his 5 internal organs and 6 bowels were completely extinguished. Kill successful. Congratulations host for obtaining E-class skill, Shield Wall. Automatically upgraded to SSS class Devouring Shield. A growth skill? Chenmu was quite fond of it. The skill can summon a shield. This is no ordinary shield. When the player reaches the killing point of a monster, and swallows it. After swallowing, you can randomly obtain attribute enhancements. Unlimited growth. Just this ignoring any defensive skills. The setting of directly killing is already extremely perverted. Not to mention, you can also gain attributes. Unlimited growth. Aside from that, kill points. You could say it's a full harvest. How can you blame Chenmu for being bloodthirsty? They clearly came to their doom. Skills are delivered to your doorstep. How could you not accept them? 3 minutes later, daily tasks will be released shortly. Please get ready, players. There's another mission. Are they giving out missions so frequently? Just a little joke. Not complaining. Chenmu would love to have more opportunities like this. There are rewards. Why not take them? As for why the task isn't released immediately, it's most likely to give players time to deal with what's in front of them. Those who need to kill. Those who need to run. Taking advantage of this time, Chenmu opened the regional chat channel to pass the time. At the same time, let's get some information. As soon as you open it, you see someone spamming the screen. Anyone who encounters this kid, immediately report to our Blood Wolf Guild. There's a reward. Attach a photo. Click on the photo. Zoom in. No matter what Chenmu is like, he couldn't be so confused as to not recognize himself. There are only 2 possibilities. Either he's seeking revenge for the members of the Blood Wolf Guild who died, or he wants to invite himself to join the Blood Wolf Guild. Chenmu hopes it's the first one. Blood Wolf Guild. That's right. It's legitimate. But he prefers the second option. Since they were able to find their pictures, it means they've already learned about the situation back then. There's no reason for them to come and be enemies. It's just adding to the casualties. Should you join the Blood Wolf Guild? Naturally impossible. Chenmu didn't want to carry baggage. He didn't want any. Especially not a bunch of people. And joining this kind of guild, what benefit would it have for him? None at all. Would a guild leader so easily give up his position? Don't give up your seat, and make yourself his slave. At his beck and call. Are you kidding me? If he dares to order me around, Chenmu will immediately make his head roll. 3 minutes are up. I didn't see any valuable chat content at all. They were just spamming the screen. When I joined, they were still spamming. They were looking at photos of themselves being secretly photographed and proudly showing them off. It felt weird. I withdrew my thoughts, and placed them on the system panel. Collect the task, please, within 2 hours. This kind of task, in Chenmu's opinion, is reasonable. It trains players' killing abilities while cultivating, and gives those who want to avoid battle more options for survival. To reduce the difficulty of the task, the system has specifically marked out several resource points. The map has been confirmed. The coordinates are accurate. There is definitely food. There are only 3 coordinates. It's easy to imagine how fierce the competition will be. Afterwards, let's find somewhere that might have meat. Maybe an amusement park. On the map, food resources are classified by S, A, B, D into 5 levels. And the amusement park is rated as C, higher than the 3 coordinates given by the system. By 1 level. The most crucial thing is, the distance is close enough. Chenmu could see it when he turned around. The abandoned Ferris wheel had stopped rotating. And the roller coaster track. He locked onto the Ferris wheel with the light. He teleported inside. His eyes widened. Many spider webs and dust-covered bones were pressed close together, fingers intertwined. It seemed they were a couple. Even in a world of slaughter, this thing couldn't possibly come back to life. It's just 1 step away from turning to ash. But to be safe, Chenmu still lit a fire. Before the fire could spread, he went to the window and looked down, teleported over, landed firmly on both feet. A sense of security increased. This is much better than staying in a wobbly Ferris wheel that could fall at any time. Much better. Boom. A loud bang. The Ferris wheel gondola where Chenmu was just in fell straight down. The connection itself was heavily rusted. Force ruptured. It fell. It's only natural. Chenmu was curious. How long has this world been deserted? The food I collected. Is it still edible? Or is it that? There's no such thing as exploration here. The map only marks general locations, not specific details. Chenmu could only wander around. Let's see if we can find a warehouse or something. Not long after, they found one. It had the classic red and white color scheme. It was made of canvas walls, full of holes, even claw marks. A giant plastic clown head hung on the door. Because of the wind and rain, it faded. Then it flowed and solidified. It became quite worn. He opened His hands with white gloves. Didn't look like he wanted to hug people. A place that should bring joy to people. Right now, the overall style is more like a haunted house. I don't know why. Chen-Mu always felt. This clown's eyes. Compared to other places, it highlights the reality even more. Being stared at by it directly, you can't help but feel a sudden chill down your spine. But Chen-Mu's journey was to collect food. To complete the task, he had no interest in this clown circus. Not much, anyway. Turning around, ready to leave. The next second, triggered a sense of danger. Turning around faster, took 3 or 4 steps back, just in time to see that the clown had come back to life, reaching out with giant arms, opening his white-gloved hands, wanting to grab Chen-Mu. Luckily, he had the danger perception skill. Otherwise, he would have found it difficult to escape. He actually disguised himself as a sign to deceive people. Chen-Mu raised his hand. He swiped his finger upwards. He directly cut the sign in half. When it landed, he found it was just an ordinary clown sign. An inanimate object, carved from wood. Whoosh. The next second, 3 flying knives shot through the torn curtain, flying towards Chen-Mu. He dodged them all with his ghost-like movements. Bang! The sound of metal colliding. He turned around. A wrist-thick iron bar pierced through both sides. If this hit someone, the consequences would be unthinkable. This anger, Chen-Mu didn't plan to swallow. As if nothing happened, he lifted the curtain and walked in. The interior space is larger than it looks from the outside. Hundreds of seats. Empty. On stage, props used for the performance are scattered everywhere. Juggling balls, playing cards, broken bowls, magic wand, little whip, crack, crack, crack. Applause suddenly erupted. Chen-Mu quickly looked, his eyes, found a person with a face smeared in white, square black eyes, black lips, a dark red round nose, was grinning widely. But strangely, although the smile was so bright, it didn't make a sound. It was like performing a mime. His forehead was shiny, without a single hair, a perfect Mediterranean look, and beside her, a ring of thick, contrasting red hair. Striped clothes are loose, pants and shirt are one piece. The scarf design is like baby clothes. It looks like she has no neck. She turns her head instantly. He looked straight at me, while clapping. He didn't forget to point his finger at the stage, nodding frequently, as if to share the superb performance with Chen-Mu. When Chen-Mu returned to the stage from the light, he was surprised to find the originally messy. The stage was empty. At this moment, several clowns appeared. A green-haired clown rode a unicycle, spinning plates on the stage. Flags. A yellow-haired clown waved a leather whip in his hand, urging the lion to jump through the ring of fire. The blue-haired clown is walking on a tightrope, holding a bouncing pole. He's on a tightrope, tens of meters high. The color of their clothes perfectly matches their hair color. The stripe design remains the same. Hearing the sound, Chen-Mu lowers his gaze. He sees the black-haired clown with his eyes covered, towards the human target board. He throws the throwing knife. In the blink of an eye, his hands and feet were bound. He struggled in a half-hearted way. The black-haired clown raised the throwing knife in his hand. He flung it. It directly hit the red-haired clown between the eyebrows. Blood seeped out. The red-haired clown's head tilted. He didn't respond. At this moment, all the clowns stopped their actions and came to the front of the stage. They bowed towards the empty audience seats. Once again. Then, they moved in unison, turning their heads, focusing their gaze on Chen-Mu, staring at him intently. At your performance. It's terrible. Chen-Mu didn't want to give the person who tried to strangle him a second ago. Applause for the guy who killed himself with a flying knife. Hearing this, several clowns' faces turned pale. Even the red-haired clown, who was supposed to be dead, tied to the human-shaped target, turned his head. With a bloody face, his eyes wide with shock, he was staring intently at Chen-Mu. This scene, if it were anyone else, I bet they would have been intimidated. But Chen-Mu remained calm. He wanted to see what other tricks they had up their sleeve. The black-haired clown put both hands in his pockets. He brought his 10 fingers together. He pulled out 8 throwing knives. The green-haired clown pulled out a chainsaw. It buzzed loudly. The whip in the yellow-haired clown's hand was covered in spikes even sharper than blades. If you were hit by it, losing a layer of skin would be the least of your worries. The lion, originally so docile and harmless, at this moment, reveals its true nature. Its flesh is rotting. Its eyes bloodshot. The damage to its flank is particularly severe. Chen-Mu can clearly see the broken ribs, and within them, flesh and blood all mixed up. It's hard to tell what the organs are. The purple-haired clown wielded 2 pirate scimitars. The blue-haired clown's balancing rod became pointed at both ends. The red-haired clown was nowhere to be seen. He'd been appearing and disappearing all along. It was the one who disguised itself as a sign and tried to sneak up on Chen-Mu from behind. It was it. Chen-Mu chuckled. The clown killer squad? They seemed to sense his provocation. The clowns jumped off the stage together, raising their chainsaws. Flying dagger. Appearance of object manipulation. Directly and forcefully took the weapons from their hands. With a wave of his hand, he threw out the clown tent. The clown with empty hands. He was clearly taken aback. Add that makeup. It was quite comical. But the rotten lion found an opportunity and pounced towards Chen-Mu. Chen-Mu used his skill, earth armor. A moment later, transforming into a stone giant, raising his arm ahead of time, thick like an elephant's leg. One punch smashed into the rotten lion's head, then suddenly exerting force towards the ground. One punch shattered the stone surface, successfully killed the rotten lion. Congratulations, host, you gained 2 kill points. The clowns were completely panicked. They wanted to run away. Chen-Mu bent down. His hands touched the ground. The crack spread out from his hand. Finally, he formed a circle about 5 or 6 meters in front of him. He formed a circle with his hands. His hands suddenly exerted force. He lifted a giant stone, 2 to 3 meters thick. A deep pit appeared on the ground. He jumped several meters high. He aimed with all his strength at the 5 clowns. He smashed it down hard. Congratulations, host, you have earned 5 kill points. He released his hand. The boulder cracked open, revealing what lay beneath. A thick mixture of blood and flesh. Bits of flesh, except for clothes. It's impossible to tell who's who. Right now, only the red-haired clown remains. He has not yet pleaded guilty. He looks up at the stage. He looks up at the ceiling. He looks back at the audience. It is still empty. Did they escape? The stone armor collapses, scattered on the ground. Shenmue said curiously. At this time, the sense of crisis arose again. But the image was strange. The surroundings were all red, like a fleshy wall moving. Liquid continued to drip from overhead. Highly corrosive. This can't go on like this. Shenmue activated his magic eye, wanting to quickly locate the red-haired clown. He discovered a surrounding area of cold blue. These were the bodiless zombies. Monster. Unique color blocks appear. So, I'm inside that guy's stomach? Shenmue frowned. He didn't expect the circus tent itself to be the location of the red-haired clown's true form. No wonder he can come and go without a trace. Gone without a trace. And then reappeared there. Hee hee hee, evil laughter. This was the first time Shenmue had heard the clown's voice. It seemed to be gloating. Shenmue realized belatedly. He had already fallen for it. Then, the fleshy wall begins to writhe. Drip. A drop falls. The corrosive effect is astounding. A single drop. It can completely envelop an adult, melting them down to just bones in an instant. And then, even the bones were melted away. As if to mock Shenmue's foolishness, the fleshy wall started to deform. Little stinky faces emerged. Some expressions were funny. Some were crying. Some were fearful. All sorts of expressions. They could break out of the wall at any time. Yet he couldn't break free. Shenmue saw it all, including his feet, full of ugly faces. They tried to open their mouths. Flesh. You like to eat people, huh? Shenmue chuckled. Snap your fingers. The dragon head emerges. Not just one dragon head, but 3. Protecting him in the middle. Immediately, they open their mouths and spew out 3 flames. The face. The smell of burnt flesh and blood, at this moment, was amplified to its extreme. And then, the expressions on their faces finally became the same. There was no smugness, no laughter. There was just pain. Suddenly, a door opened. Sunlight shone through it. Shenmue understood the clown's meaning. This was to make him leave. Shenmue teleported out. The big top was filled. He couldn't hold it anymore. It ripped open, revealing within it a giant mountain of flesh. Shenmue lifted his toes. He stepped. The ice instantly froze it. Then hundreds of airlines floated out. They were scattered in all directions, intertwined and chaotic. Immediately, Titan, fall, cutting the iceberg into countless pieces. Successfully killed the Joker King. Congratulations, host, you have gained 10 points of killing. Congratulations, you have completed the hidden mission. You defeated the clown killing squad. You obtained 5 clown throwing knives. You obtained 1 chance to draw a clown skill. This clown circus was actually a hidden mission. Shenmue couldn't hide his surprise. Thinking about it, I have to thank those clowns for relentlessly pursuing me. They almost didn't kill me. I also wanted to say that I wanted to leave. Shenmue first examined the 5 clown throwing knives. After they were thrown, he could call them back with his mind. Permanent durability. Don't worry about wear and tear. It's not bad. But what Shenmue is most looking forward to is still the chance to draw a clown skill. Do you want to draw a clown skill? Yes, without hesitation. Drawing for the Joker skill. Congratulations. You have obtained the A-rank Joker skill, Deception. One system finishes singing. Another system takes the stage. Your Joker skill Deception has automatically been upgraded to SSS rank Master of Deception. The biggest difference is the restriction is removed. Shenmue can transform into anyone, even monsters. He can also split off a phantom projection to manipulate and deceive the target while he attacks with his real body. When releasing the phantom projection, the true body will be in stealth mode, lasting for 1 minute. After attacking the opponent, it will immediately become visible. It will not affect the fake body. During this time, the fake body can attack with 2 daggers, reach a certain duration of existence. Explosion can inflict a severe injury effect on the enemy. I can't say I'm satisfied, but I'm very satisfied. Extremely satisfied. I was just thinking about completing the collection quest to see what rewards I could get. Unexpectedly, another SSS level skill, and its practicality is ridiculously high. Close the virtual panel. Shenmue came to a notice board. Where? Just write it out. Then again, Shenmue thought, the warehouse can't be far from the dining area. Just go through the haunted roller coaster area. You'll get there directly. Shenmue set off. Originally, to prevent accidents. They were all surrounded by high walls. But now, these high walls have already mostly collapsed. Shenmue walked in with big strides. There's no reason to take the long way around when there's a shortcut. As the roller coaster was about to reach its end, it would rush over a stretch of water. Shenmue stopped to look. The entire surface of the artificial lake was covered in dust, garbage, and aquatic plants. The entire lake was a murky green, like thick phlegm. It looked very disgusting. Shenmue withdrew his gaze and prepared to continue on his way. The crisis sense triggered again. Quickly move a few steps to the right. Dodge. The sound of something breaking the surface of the water. Someone surged up from under the water. They wanted to drag Shenmue underwater. They missed. Shenmue swiped his finger through the air. He chopped off its head right there. A thick liquid gushed out of the severed neck. It drained quickly. All that was left was a wrinkled skin. The body sank. Successfully killed the water corpse. Congratulations, host, you have obtained 1 kill point. Water corpse. Is it a relative of the water ghost? At least it wants to drag people into the water. Drowning aspect. There's no difference between the two. It's over. Not really. Shenmue saw it clearly. The shadow underwater is constantly expanding, and they were in great numbers. One by one, faces, swollen for being soaked in lake water, distorted and contorted, surfaced from the water. More and more of them. Within this visible range, there were at least 200 or 300. Shenmue hadn't expected at first that this artificial lake was so deep. He was curious. What was at the bottom of this lake? Just how many corpses were submerged? His magic eye activated. The scene before him truly shocked him. His pupils constricted. This expanse before him. It's called an artificial lake, politely. To put it bluntly, it's just a piece of flooded land. The actual water content is probably less than 10%. That water, it probably wasn't real water. It was the fluid expelled from the body. The smell was pungent and overwhelming. Some were standing. Some were crawling. Bodies stepping on their comrades below, making their way to shore. These corpses are different from normal ones. The bodies are severely swollen. They are abnormally large. This is a phenomenon called giant corpse. It happens when a body decomposes after death, between 5 to 8 days, especially if the body hasn't been embalmed. The body goes from being decayed to highly decayed. It produces a large amount of putrefying gas. It fills the body's soft tissues. The body. The face is extremely swollen. The eyeballs protrude. The lips are thick and everted. The tongue is extended. The abdomen is distended. Abdominal wall is tense. Skin is greenish black. Marbled veins are common. Subcutaneous tissue and muscles are edematous. Limbs are thickened. Hair falls off. The entire body is swollen and enlarged, resembling a giant. It's hard to recognize their premortem appearance. This phenomenon is called putrefactive gigantism. Shenmue had witnessed it firsthand, so he remembers it vividly. These guys in front of him, in terms of how disgusting they are, compared to putrefactive gigantism, are even worse, if not more. He made unintelligible sounds with his mouth. It was a difficult sound to understand. His swollen arms were struggling to lift. His 10 fingers, too thick, were crammed together. He couldn't move them. The texture of his skin, it's like the whole body has a blister on it. One poke and it bursts. Every step I take, the layers piled on top of each other, like the flesh beneath a tire. You can even see the water flowing. Same old story. The killing points are right at hand. Why wouldn't I accept it? Just as Shenmue was about to act, a voice came from behind him. Kid, I want these fatties. Get out of my way. The voice had a commanding tone. He's a man. Shenmue turned his head to look. Roughly estimated, the man's age should be over 30. He had some gray hair at his temples, but his skin was very youthful. And beside him, a small knife was floating. Mission. The clown throwing knife I got is similar. The blade is a bit wider and longer. There's still a lot of blood on it. It's cooling at the slightly tilted tip. It drips, spattering on the ground. What? Don't you understand human language? Men don't have much patience. Seeing that Shenmue wasn't agreeing, not taking action, he pulled his hand out of his pocket, lifted it up, and aimed it at Shenmue. That flying knife. The tip of the knife raised upward, straightly locked onto Shenmue. With a whoosh, it stirred up a little wind. In an instant, it approached Shenmue. It's close enough to reach his eye. Just a little further forward. It can pierce Shenmue's right eye. The man's expression is strained. He wants to control the flying knife, but he realizes the flying knife is out of his control, no matter how he waves his hand. Not moving a muscle. How is this possible? I've never heard of anything like this. System, get out here and give me an explanation. The man's voice gets quieter. He doesn't want Shenmue to know. He's panicking. To this, the system has no response. Actually, it's not the flying knife itself that's the problem, but Shenmue used invisible lines to forcibly stop it, preventing it from going forward. At the same time, she adjusted her aim again, targeting the man. His pupils constricted. This scared the man, especially after seeing that the throwing knife was incredibly fast, almost blurring. It shot towards him. Don't. He quickly waved his hand. He canceled the skill. The flying knives disappeared. He was breathing heavily, huffing and puffing. He was sweating profusely. The man's face was full of terror. The skill from Ao's hand. Your reaction speed is pretty quick. Shenmue laughed. It doesn't concern you. Don't get too cocky. I have plenty of opportunities to take your life. Connect them together. Use the skill again. Summon flying knives. Good. It's back to normal. The man was thinking about getting rid of Shenmue as soon as possible, and taking all those hundreds and thousands of kill points. That way, he would be safe for a long time. You don't need to worry about resources anymore. Whoosh. Seize the opportunity. He manipulated the flying knife again, and shot it straight towards Shenmue. The blade reflected the sunlight, but it was exceptionally cold. He was hit. The man's lips curled up in a smile. He hadn't even had time to be happy, when he suddenly realized something was wrong. No, it was very wrong. Shenmue had disappeared, vanished into thin air, without a trace. Suddenly, a sharp sensation on his neck. Hiss. The man reached out to touch it. His fingers plunged into the flesh. The pain was unbearable. He raised his hand to look. His fingertips were stained crimson with blood. Why? The man's brow furrowed. His eyes filled with confusion. He couldn't understand why his neck had been suddenly slit. There was clearly no one around him, and there were no funeral monsters around either. The water corpses were still far away, because they were out of water. Their movements were incredibly slow. At this moment, Shenmue decided to show himself, holding a handful of clown throwing knives, and the originally brand new blades. But now, there's a splash of crimson. Blood flows down the blade, gathering at the tip. Each drop plump, falling, concealing. The man covers his neck with both hands. In the mist, he died in shock. Congratulations, host, you have attained E-grade swordsmanship. Automatically upgraded to SSS grade swordsmanship. So it's a small flying sword? Shenmue suddenly realized. After upgrading to SSS grade swordsmanship, the blade became wider, longer. It measures 7 feet. It can not only be used to manipulate the flying sword to kill the enemy, but also to stand on it. Like a cultivator, riding the wind and wielding the sword. It is worth mentioning that the sword. And after being upgraded to SSS level, Shenmue's initial number of flying swords increased to 10. Most importantly, for every kill completed, the number of flying swords plus 1. More than just abnormal. It's simply insane. Take another look at the endless stream of creatures climbing out of the water behind you. The number of water corpses is exploding. Shenmue has reason to suspect that the man received a script and deliberately came here to give him experience. This kind of person, the more the merrier. Shenmue won't refuse anyone. In front of him, the hilt points downwards, the tip points upwards. Shenmue crosses his arms. 1. One sword turns into 10. He spins around, forming a sword array. After that, the tip of his sword pointed down. He aimed at the group of Shuehu. Whoosh. One after another, he fired them consecutively. Swoosh. Each sword perfectly followed Shenmue's plan. It entered through the water corpse's brow. It came out from the back of its head. The sword pierced through 3 heads. One poke and it burst. Dark green, a thick, completely decayed, fleshy soup. Sprayed everywhere. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. It's also extremely corrosive. Black bubbles are bubbling up from the ground. It explodes. The smoke and stench are suffocating. For players who don't know this, once you get close, even if you kill Mito, you won't get anything out of it. That kind of explosion speed, the possibility of escaping unscathed, is 0. Unless you are like Shenmue, and can teleport. You can't kill him. You would be attacked by Mito, or even assimilated. If you kill it, its flesh will be corroded away, leaving only its skeleton. There's no good outcome. It's truly the nemesis of melee fighters. Flying sword quantity, under an SSS class skill. Kill the water corpse. It was as easy as killing a chicken or dog. It was so easy. I killed a bunch and got so many points. I increased my points by over 800. This also meant that Shenmue's number of flying swords increased by over 800. He summoned them all out, hovering in the air. This scene is no joke. It's incredibly impactful. Even Shenmue himself, when he watched it, couldn't help but feel his adrenaline pumping. It's awesome. He suddenly felt having too many skills is a real pain. The biggest annoyance is every single one is so ridiculously powerful. I don't know which one to use. Raise your hand. Spread your fingers. 800 flying swords merge into one, hovering above Shenmue's palm. He squeezed his fist. It dissipated. Shenmue didn't forget his main purpose. He headed towards the dining area. He came to the area under the roller coaster track. The slope was startling. The total length was estimated to be over 1,000 meters. He stopped. Strange sounds came from above. Shenmue looked up. A dark shadow fell quickly. Shenmue stepped back. The sound of something heavy landing reached him. He looked down. It was a person. No. You should say zombies. The white coat is stained with dark red rust. If you don't look carefully, you might think it's dried blood. Both legs are severely bent inward, knees pressed together. It looks just like how someone would squeeze their legs together when they need to pee. After all, he fell from such a height. Bone fracture, dislocation. It's only natural. Do mourners commit suicide? Shenmue joked half-heartedly. He activated his magic eye. The scene in front of him magnified, clearly visible. The source of that creaking sound was the tourists on the roller coaster. Struggling, which led to the roller coaster tilting violently, to the left and right, with the risk of falling at any moment. The zombies were falling one by one, from the 100-meter high drop. The most ridiculous thing is, falling from such a high place, and being able to act like nothing happened. He got up. But, although he survived, he dislocated something, or broke something. Sharp, long bones protrude from the flesh, but cannot be healed. Some have necks bent at 90 degrees, resting on their shoulders. Some have their vertebrae dislocated, their upper bodies twisted and askew, looking strange and unnatural. There are all kinds of them. Buzz. A loud boom. The roller coaster couldn't hold on. It derailed. And crashed. Be careful. Shenmue summoned dozens of flying swords, and fired them all at once. It pierced through the head of a group of people, with the person flying out. It was inserted into the tree trunk. Nailed dead on it. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 1 kill point. Flying sword quantity. Looking at the prompt in front of him, Shenmue let out a sigh of relief. He raised his hand, and wiped the beads of sweat from his forehead. Almost let you die without any value. At first, Shenmue thought, being reborn into such a world, it's so frustrating. But now, he's completely changed his mind. What killing the world? The world often comes knocking on his door. After that, he safely traversed the roller coaster area. He stepped over the fence. He could already see various food restaurants. Shenmue set off. He saw a hot dog cart parked on the side of the road. It was parked in his path. The hot dog cart wasn't the focus. But what was on the cart? The chef lying down. At least he's dressed the part. Dead. Or not. Shenmue was unsure. He was suspicious. Maybe this ghoul was pretending to be dead. Waiting until he's within attack range. Suddenly came back to life, taking you by surprise. He threw himself to the ground, biting frantically. Just about to summon the flying sword. Taking the initiative. Unexpectedly, the zombie suddenly shuddered. Ah. A roar. He pushed the cart with great force for 3 or 4 meters. He ran towards Shenmue. Shenmue decisively took out the devouring shield, blocking it in front of him. The zombie was unable to avoid it. He slammed headfirst into the black giant shield. It still wants to turn. But the giant shield seizes the opportunity. It opens a huge maw like an abyss. It bites down on half the zombie's body, and swallows it down alive. Congratulations, you gained 1 kill point. Defense attribute of the devouring shield. This is still a shield. Shenmue really didn't expect. This shield would directly, in front of him, in less than 2 seconds, swallow that dead meat like a date, and gobble it down. It seems the word devouring. It's a verb. Luckily, it was a near miss. Shenmue let go of his hand. The shield of swallowing disappeared. After a search, he finally found the cold storage. A mess. How could there be power supply? The moment I opened the door, all that was left was a strong, putrid smell, and large chunks of rotting flesh covered in mold. This kind of thing, Shenmue couldn't eat. Luckily, there was the warehouse. There was quite a bit of food in the warehouse. There are 10 boxes of luncheon meat alone. Each box has 120 pieces. Bread, meat sauce, noodles. The amount of rice and flour is enormous. Shenmue just put them all into his system backpack. Inventory slots are full. Collection task complete. Congratulations on gaining +5 inventory slots. For various rewards. Like Shenmue, who has SSS level skills galore. This reward is hard to be excited about. It's still useful. Of course, the more inventory slots you have, the better. The more, the merrier. Rumble. The ceiling above. To be precise, it's the ventilation shaft. That keeps making weird noises. Shenmue quietly backed away. A thud sound. On the metal ventilation pipe, a 3D image of a bug's head suddenly appeared. Shenmue could clearly see its large head and the messy arrangement of sharp teeth inside. And next to its head, the two sharp horns that look like a wild boar's tusks. The flat-shaped back of its head. It's a larger piece of skull armor. And after that, there's another larger piece of skull armor. Like tiles, layered on top of each other. And in the center, there's a spike extending out. It serves as a defense. It also causes damage. Another impact. The lines of the 3D image become chaotic. The sheet metal of the ventilation duct can't withstand it. A small crack appears. After another impact, the worm finally gets its way. It breaks out of the ventilation duct. It opens its mouth wide, revealing a mouthful of sharp teeth that are scattered and uneven. Its shell is a dark red, almost like it's been boiled in too much soy sauce, like a crayfish. Its pincers are bigger than its head. If it pinches you, I'm afraid it will be crushed to pieces. Under a pair of giant pincers, and another pair of legs that are dozens of times larger, shaped like sickles, with incredibly sharp edges. Black and red gradient. The body is very similar. One ring fits into another. Shenmue took a series of steps backward. The monster pursued relentlessly. After its body rushed forward for over 10 meters, only then did its tail appear, and the poisonous needle, like a reaper's scythe, charged forward with brute force. Its giant pincer closed tight, like a powerful iron hammer, easily smashing through the wall. It was meant to crush Shenmue's head, but its speed couldn't keep up. Simultaneously with the attack from the two pincers, that pair of sickle legs were also not idle, swinging incessantly. The cuts effortlessly pierced through the entire wall. In terms of fighting ability, it's comparable to the giant snail I encountered in the English trial grounds. Meanwhile, outside the restaurant, two people are approaching. One of them suddenly reaches out and grabs the other's arm. Wait. Wait. Did you hear anything? What? Bang. Boom. Before the words were out, the sound became undeniable. They looked at each other. They understood each other perfectly. He quickly turned around and ran away, hiding behind a tree. He peeked out with both eyes, observing the situation. And then he saw Shenmue coming out of the restaurant door, with a step on his toes. He moved 3 to 4 meters in one step. Step back. The footfall. The process between stepping and landing. It's as if it was cut off. The two weren't sure if they had seen wrong. Then, it was the monstrous insect with a body length of over 10 meters that chased out. Just his appearance scared them both half to death. Their legs turned to jelly. They thought, thank goodness we didn't go in. A tragic ending. In their eyes, faced with such a horrifying monster, Shenmue had no chance of survival. He's doomed. Move. Opening its giant pincers, Shenmue is already within its reach. If it closes them, it could snap Shenmue in half instantly. He's dead. Such a thought. The same thought appeared in both their minds at the same time. But the next second, they were both stunned. Shenmue had vanished into thin air. The monster's giant pincers clamped onto a patch of air. How could this be? Where did he go? That shouldn't be possible. The whole process took less than the blink of an eye. Even if it was incredibly fast, it shouldn't be possible to vanish into thin air. Both of them were baffled, puzzled, wondering how Shenmue managed to do it. The next second, yet they were startled to see Shenmue appear on top of the monstrous insect. Even more confused. How did he get there? Without the creature noticing. In fact, Shenmue's SSS level invisibility skill allows him to be unseen while he can't touch it. It's like they appear in different spaces. The monster is in the lower world, while Shenmue is in a higher world. Shenmue can see and touch the monster, but the monster can't do anything to him. Because in the monster's eyes, Shenmue's entire body disappears when he uses his ability. It's like he's evaporated into thin air. That's why they say, it's SSS level. This rank is not something they just assigned randomly. He grasps the air sword with both hands, and plunges it downward. It was inserted through the gap connecting the protective shell of the monster's skull. It went in. Ha! The monster violently shook its body. It opened its giant pincers and sickle legs. It was in immense pain. He anticipated the giant pincers that were about to strike upward. Shenmue instantly teleported 6 meters away. He summoned his flying sword. He spread his arms wide. One sword transformed into hundreds of flying swords. They surrounded the monster in layers, forming a sphere, encasing a strange insect within. If it moved even slightly, it would be cut by the blades. This scene left the duo speechless. With mouths agape, he disappeared suddenly, teleported in an instant. And these hundreds of flying swords. This kid. Who exactly is he? The strange insect was still not giving up. It swung its huge pincers and sickle-like legs, trying to knock away the annoying long swords. While the flying swords dodged, Shenmue manipulated the other flying swords to penetrate the gaps in the insect's protective shell, one after another. For example, its underbelly. For humans, it's a very difficult place to attack. But for these flexible flying swords, it's easy. The blade pierces through the soft area, then continues to increase its force. From the inside, it forcibly pushes open the protection, torn from flesh and blood. It flits. The red flesh of the wriggling monster It looks as if it had a bit more appetite. But this thing, don't even mention eating it. Even a little blood on my mouth. If you don't spit it out in time, and spit it out clean, if it flows into your stomach, you might become one of the members of the morning corps. The strange insects are in excruciating pain. Their saliva is flying everywhere. They're desperately using every attack method they can. But it still can't change the situation of being crushed. Bro, that monster has lost its outer shell protection now. I think you can use your bow and take it down with one shot. You're crazy. Dare to steal that person's monster? Are you sure we'll still be alive? Big rewards come with big risks. Bro, a monster that big. Just think, how many kill points it'd be worth? Seeing a man, she still couldn't make up her mind. The young man continued to persuade. You're in charge of sniping. I'll use kill points to buy a motorcycle. Then we'll kill him and escape. All in one go. He won't even have time to react. By the time he realizes, we'll be long gone. The man thought about it carefully and thought it was a good idea, but he couldn't help but worry that things wouldn't go as smoothly as he hoped. If he could, Shenmue wished they could be a little quieter. After all, his hearing, far beyond ordinary people. He bent down to pick up a stone the size of a ping pong ball from the ground. Not good. He spotted us. The man saw them. Shenmue turned around, raising his hand. Get ready to throw the stone. Run. He thought. Fighting is better than running now. It's still not too late. Besides, otherwise, how could you possibly use throwing rocks? A childish trick like that? Boom. Sonic boom. Those two probably couldn't imagine in their dreams. A small stone could pack the power of tons of artillery shells. It created a crater on the ground that was 7 or 8 meters wide, a 100-meter long ravine. Losing its support, the roller coaster track begins to rumble and collapse. Even concrete, rocks, steel can't withstand the destructive power, let alone two people. This is the SSS class 1000-fold power. Congratulations, host, you have obtained the F rank skill, Illusionary Bow. It has automatically upgraded to the SSS rank 5 elements Illusionary Bow. View description. Summon a bow and arrow for use. You can choose the arrow attribute to be gold, wood, water, fire, earth, 5 elements. Congratulations, host, you have acquired an F-grade storage space. Automatically upgraded to an SSS grade infinite backpack. This Shenmue can only say, happiness came a little too suddenly. Just worried about the rewards increasing more and more. So many things. I don't know where to put them. Unexpectedly, I got myself an infinite backpack. This skill automatically merges with the system backpack. The backpack space is no longer limited by the system. Infinite slots. I can put anything I want in it. A car, a villa, or a mountain. On the other side, time. It still cannot escape the sword formation. Shenmue doesn't want to waste any more time. Familiar skill, playing all kinds of fancy moves. 800 long swords pieced together, turning into a sword dragon, directly hitting the strange insect. The sword dragon rotates, countless edges, like a meat grinder. The strange insect's head shattered to pieces. Its body crashed down. Successfully killed the poisonous Scorpion King. Congratulations, host, you have gained 10 kill points. After obtaining the kill points, Shenmue was about to leave. The king's snail larva is in a state of extreme hunger. The system didn't say. Shenmue almost forgot this little guy is extremely hungry. But I don't know what you want to eat. Human food. Or rather, Shenmue's eyes moved down to the headless body of the poisonous Scorpion King. His gaze returned to the virtual screen, clicking on the Overlord snail larva. Take it out. Just the size of an open palm. After all, it belongs to Shenmue. The Overlord snail larva definitely won't hurt him. Shenmue walks closer to the poison Scorpion King's corpse, squats down, tilts his palm, makes it easier for the Overlord snail larva to crawl down from his palm. As expected, the King's Scorpion larva smelled the blood and immediately burrowed into the King Scorpion's body and started devouring it. The larva ate at an incredible speed. While it was eating, Shenmue continued to receive system messages. The King Scorpion larva was absorbing nutrients by eating. Gained 1 growth. The Overlord larva gains 1 strength stat by feeding. Gained 1 strength stat. As the Overlord snail larva grows, its stats in all aspects continue to increase. It was originally only the size of an open hand. Now, after eating half the body of the poison Scorpion King, it's almost as long as Shenmue's arm span, and as thick as his wrist. It's quite a sight to behold. Shenmue, however, feels fine. Monster. Of course, the uglier, the more he grows, the stronger he becomes. His looks and strength are mostly proportional, and this little guy just needs to eat, to evolve, a setting that Shenmue is very satisfied with. Dead-end monster meat is what we have the most of. It's almost too easy to keep alive. The Overlord snail larva gains 1 defense stat by eating. The Overlord snail larva gains 1 speed stat by eating. The Overlord snail larva gains 1 defense stat by eating. The Overlord snail larva gains 1 speed stat by eating. In no time, all that's left is a giant, deadly, scythe-like poison needle. It looks like it's 2 or 3 meters long. If it were to be swung at, or pierced, with venom injected, an ordinary person would be dead for sure. Listening to the clicking sounds in your ears, the insect's good teeth, the needles, won't even let you go either. Chew, swallowing constantly, crunchy. The King Scorpion's larvae gained the King Scorpion's sickle-shaped venomous tail by eating it. Seeing this system prompt, Shenmue had to admit, he was shocked. I really didn't expect eating the flesh of a monster, besides growth, would integrate itself into me. The Overlord centipede larva at this moment is already over 2 meters long, plus its poisonous tail, easily reaching 3 meters, and there's unlimited room for growth. Shenmue was curious. After continuous devouring and merging, what would it eventually become? A human demon god. Thinking of this, he suddenly became interested. I didn't really care about this little bug before. Now it seems it's worth cultivating. After consuming the Scorpion King's body completely, the Overlord Snail actively returned to Shenmue. It lifted its upper body like a snake, waiting for Shenmue's next order. Shenmue was thinking, let's send the Overlord Snail out to farm. We can be self-sufficient. But on second thought, I decided against it. What if we run into a super powerful monster? Or even a player, on a guild hunt? With the Overlord Snail's current level, I'm guessing it's going to get slaughtered. After all, it's called. For now, I plan to keep it in my system backpack. After I deal with the Morning House monster, I'll let it out to clean the bodies, and evolve by consuming them. First, it needs to be strong enough. Before thinking about letting it go, it has to reach the adult stage at least. Shenmue didn't want his things to become food for other zombies and monsters, or a source of killing points. He raised his hand, and placed it on the Overlord's head. The body was digitized into a mosaic, stored in the system backpack. The benefits of the SSS level infinite backpack were immediately apparent. If it had been the old system backpack, the young Tyrannosaurus snail larva would have been fine initially. But now, such a large Tyrannosaurus snail, it's definitely impossible to put it in. I have to say, those two people came at just the right time. If they hadn't said those words, and left early, Shenmue wouldn't have done anything. He was just thinking crookedly, trying to steal the deal, stealing monsters. No wonder he's ruthless. New feature has been unlocked. Would you like to view it? New feature. Shenmue walks towards the bench on the side of the road. He sits down. Then he checks out the newly unlocked system features, called Arena. It's a place where players can PK and duel, both to determine victor and decide life or death. After both parties agree to duel, they will be teleported to a special battleground. The victor will obtain all the kill points owned by the loser, weapons, food and other resources. Do both sides agree? Shenmue is uncertain. Is there anyone who dares to accept his challenge? System, can't you participate anonymously? You are doing this. It's not fair to me. He didn't see the relevant instructions. The system is acting dumb. Silence is golden. Shenmue put both hands on the back of the chair. He looked up at the ceiling. It seems that, sometimes being too strong, too conspicuous, it's not necessarily a good thing. As he was thinking this, a system prompt popped up before him. Player Han Xiaoning has issued a challenge request to you. Accept. Shenmue immediately sat up straight. He was worried about not finding an opponent. Challenge. Take a look. You'll find this person is ranked on both lists. Number 67 on the heavenly list. Number 94 on the earthly list. If Shenmue's judgment is correct, you want to test the waters. You really don't value your life, do you? Shenmue clicked agree. Allow viewing. Note, allow viewing. Enter the spectator seats. Of course it's not allowed. There's no need to let everyone remember your face. Remembered. Who would want to play with you? He doesn't want to be a big star in the killing world. Looking for trouble. Confirming the surrounding environment. Host status. Confirmed. Teleporting to the arena soon. The other side of the world. Han Xiaoning, who saw the same reminder, smiled. Why did you only agree this late? I thought that guy was going to back down. Boss. You have to win. What do you mean by that? Could it be that you doubt the boss's strength? Just kidding. Our boss is a B-level skill holder. He definitely won't lose to that kid. That guy probably just got lucky. He ran into a bunch of weak zombies. That's why his score is so high. Unlike our boss. He hunts the top-tier monsters. One of them is worth 10 of them. 100. Speech. Han Xiaoning was a bit carried away. He laughed. 5 minutes. End the battle within 5 minutes. Come back and have a victory party. Boss is awesome. I believe it won't be long before we see your name at the top of the heaven and earth lists. Boss. Transmission successful. The little followers responded enthusiastically. The next second, Han Xiaoning suddenly disappeared. And in an independent space, Shenmue, a competition arena the size of a basketball court. Surrounded by seats, all empty, not a single person. Han Xiaoning agreed to let people watch the fight. He planned for them to watch it all carefully. One's strength and power. They worship with respect. But Shenmue doesn't agree. So he can't open the viewing mode. Both parties need to agree. Here, they can fully exert their strength. Looking at this peer before them, Shenmue hadn't even had a chance to speak, when he saw him tilting his head, with a disdainful expression. Why don't you agree to watch the battle? Are you afraid of losing too badly, after you lose your life? You don't want to be laughed at? He chuckled. If you're afraid of dying, then don't accept the challenge. Living, isn't that good enough? To this, Shenmue didn't respond. This kind of petty, triumphant mentality, he'd seen it all too many times. Since they like to get hyped up, let them be hyped up. Let them be smug for a while longer. Their time is running out. In 60 seconds, they will be allowed to move. The battle will officially begin. Hey, why aren't you speaking? Are you scared? You wouldn't have peed your pants in fear, would you? Ugh. I thought you'd be a formidable opponent. What a waste of my anticipation. You were just lucky. These 60 seconds. Han Xiaoning kept talking trash. Sarcastically and cynically. He was just one step away from insulting Shenmue's ancestors for 18 generations. At the same time, he counted down.
5, 4, 3, 2.
The instant the countdown finished, Han Xiaoning raised his hand, opening his tightly clenched fist. He suddenly swung his hand in front of him. A gust of green mist immediately drifted toward Shenmue. Han Xiaoning's skill is using poison. Once these powders are inhaled, one will immediately be poisoned. It will cause continuous damage, until death. Shenmue was completely enveloped in the poisonous mist. Only his blurry outline could be seen. Han Xiaoning's lips curled into a smile. It became even brighter. In his eyes, Shenmue was already dead. He would no longer pose any threat to him. No one had ever survived after inhaling his poison. To be alive. Suddenly, Han Xiaoning's expression changed. He didn't know if he was hallucinating, or what. He actually saw Shenmue hiding in the poisonous fog. His size had increased more than double. He was very certain that he, as a skill possessor, wouldn't be poisoned and hallucinate. Moreover, his poison was a deadly poison, not one that caused hallucinations. Or could it be? I had fallen under Shenmue's illusion without realizing it. I had fallen under Shenmue's illusion without realizing it. Hugh. A gust of wind blew past. The poisonous mist was blown away, revealing Shenmue. This. Looking at the scene before me, Han Xiaoning was stunned. What in the world is this? A knight straight out of a medieval movie? He's wearing heavy armor. Even the white horse he's riding is wearing armor. That white horse is bigger than any monster Han Xiaoning has seen these days. It needs to be even bigger. Angel's blessing activated. Poison effect cleared. A green light shines down. Shenmue recovers. He holds a giant sword in one hand. He holds a shield in the other. He raises his hand, aiming at Han Xiaoning. Hey, this isn't a comic convention. Who are you dressing like this for? You're just. This horse even has wings. A Pegasus? That's pretty childish. Han Xiaoning continued to spout trash talk. But his tone, which had been carefree before, and arrogant, and dismissive, the half step he took back, made it clear. He's chickening out. He's just trying to act tough with trash talk, trying to appear calm and collected. His hands secretly reach behind his back. He takes down the two glass spheres hanging behind him. He clenches them tightly. He hurls them towards Shenmue swiftly. He sees Shenmue raise his sword to strike down. Han Xiaoning smiled triumphantly. You've fallen for it. The glass bottle was easily shattered by the great sword. The poison mist within spread out in an instant. Like a mushroom cloud rushing horizontally, it enveloped Shenmue again. And the radiant flying horse enveloped. The white horse flapped its wings, blowing away the poisonous mist once again. The gale carrying the poisonous mist swept fiercely over Han Xiaoning. He had to raise his hands and bury his head in front of him. I don't understand. Just flapping its wings. Why does it have such powerful force? But it hit me with 2 bottles of triple dose poison. So you can't possibly still be alive, right? He raised his head. His smile vanished again. Han Xiaoning saw that damn green light again. Of course, he knew what it meant. He just didn't want to admit it. The skill he was so proud of was simply neutralized by Shenmue. Are you kidding me? Han Xiaoning opened his system backpack. He selected the rifle. He aimed it at Shenmue. He frantically pulled the trigger, pouring all the bullets onto him. But the armor. Don't even talk about breaking through. Even a small scratch is beyond you. So quickly, the bullets are all gone. No effect at all. Han Xiaoning gritted his teeth. He looked hysterical. The trump card. Rocket launcher. Get down. Hit the shoulder. Aim. Pull the trigger. All in one motion. With a whoosh. Fired. Close range explosion. Get out. Now. You should be dead by now. Han Xiaoning raised his hand, wiping the blood from his mouth. A little injury doesn't matter. It's better than being killed. A shrill neigh. Clip clop. The sound of hooves was crisp. Han Xiaoning saw it all clearly. Shenmue emerged from the explosion's black smoke. He didn't have time to react. A sharp pain shot through his chest. Then, he was lifted off the ground. Han Xiaoning slowly lowered his head. He realized he was wearing. He raised his hand tremblingly. The skill cooldown was over. The bag was thrown out. Green light again. That damned green light again. Unlike Han Xiaoning, Shenmue skills don't need a cooldown time. You. What kind of freak are you? The words didn't have time to finish. Han Xiaoning was already dead. Blood streamed down the blade. It filled the space between Shenmue's fingers gripping the sword. Then it dripped to the ground. Shenmue swung his arm violently. He flung Han Xiaoning off the great sword. Bang. He landed. Congratulations, you are the ultimate winner. Orange juice plus 15. Pork can food plus 7. Hot dog bun plus 3. Grenade plus 8. According to the rules, Shenmue inherited all of Han Xiaoning's assets. But beyond the rules, Shenmue also gained his skills. Congratulations, host, you have acquired the B-level skill, Poison into Mist. It has automatically upgraded to SSS level, Poison into Mist. The biggest difference between SSS level and B-level skills is that the coverage area is wider. It can cover the whole city. In the true sense of the word, it's poison gas, and it doesn't require any consumption, or waiting for it to cool down. Its toxicity has also increased significantly. More than 100 times. The most important thing is, the poison gas has lost its color. It can kill without a trace. It's impossible to defend against. You will be forced to leave the arena. On the other side, why hasn't the boss come back yet? So much time has passed. Something must have happened to him. Shut your mouth. How could the boss be in trouble? If anyone's in trouble, it's that guy called Shenmue. That's right. Who does the boss want to kill? It's a piece of cake. At this moment, someone slowly raised their hand. I just noticed. The arena scrolling notification. Shenmue won. The boss is the loser. How is that possible? I don't believe it. Several people opened the arena. Thankfully, the scrolling message keeps a record. The winner's name, the loser's name, are clearly written there. For everyone to see. Boss. The boss actually lost. He's a B rank skill holder. A huge group of mourners couldn't do anything to him. Why did he lose? It seems, that person became the top of both lists. For a reason. He is most likely an A rank. Or even an S rank skill holder. We underestimated him. S level skill. Everyone fell silent. Who would dare think about revenge? Even Han Xiaoning wasn't his match. Let alone themselves. What's more, the pressure is mounting. Just to fill my stomach. To avenge him. Does doing that do you any good? Obviously not. Since there's no benefit, and there's a high chance you'll lose your life. Why would you even do it? Don't you have a screw loose? He sighed. He has to find a new patron. Unfortunately, he doesn't know where Shenmue is. If he did, they would definitely run over there immediately. They would think nothing of it and go to him. With such a powerful patron. In the future, in the world of slaughter, he wasn't even walking sideways. Meanwhile, Shenmue left the arena and returned to the real world. The arena was much less interesting than he'd imagined. It actually surprised him a little. He didn't expect to have set his hopes too high. In the end, it was still a one-sword kill. No fancy moves. No unnecessary actions. After that, while there was still light, Shenmue hunted down quite a few zombies, monsters. He easily earned a full 100 killing points. I teleported into an office building. I entered the CEO's office. I opened the door to the lounge. This is much cleaner than the hotel I stayed at last night. It's much cleaner. I pulled open the curtains. I wiped the dust off the glass with my hand. His eyes glanced out the window. The sunset was setting. Night once again shrouded the land. Shenmue opened his system backpack. He was about to eat dinner, but a prompt popped up before he could. New feature unlocked. Should I check? More new functions have been opened. How many new functions are there? Shenmue separated a system virtual panel. One to check the details of the new function. One to open the backpack. Take out the meat can. Bread. Drinks. They ate and drank like there was no tomorrow. Their rumbling stomachs were instantly satisfied. Guild features, huh? Although some people have already started creating guilds, but those are just verbal agreements. However, they're just established verbally. Now, as long as you meet the relevant conditions, you can create a guild. Kill numbers. Shenmue naturally meets all the conditions, but he doesn't have any plans to create a guild. If the guild is well managed, there seems to be extra rewards as well. To this, Shenmue remained uninterested. He opened the world chat channel, hoping to pass the time. Unexpectedly, he saw many people spamming, asking, "Brothers, could you tell me what Shenmue's guild is called? Want to add? I want to know too." Being in Shenmue's guild, the difficulty of survival would definitely be much lower, right? It's called the Tiansha Guild. Upstairs, you're lying. Don't believe it. I searched. The guild leader isn't Shenmue at all. His name is Lin Fei. There are still a lot of people who want to join his guild. No wonder they say, a big tree catches the wind. Likewise, advertising on the world chat channel, recruiting people to join the guild. There's no shortage of them. Even though they've said all this, Shenmue still had no intention of creating a guild. Being a lone wolf, living freely every day. Isn't that great? One person is full. The whole family is not worried. Gather a group of younger brothers. Can bring you strength growth. I'm afraid that even if you gather 100,000 guild members, it's not as good as killing one person. Getting an SSS level skill. No matter how you think about it. From what angle to think. Shenmue has no reason to create a guild. This feature, for him, is useless. It's not as good as the arena. Yeah. Hearing the sound of impact coming from outside the window, Shenmue immediately stood up and walked over. After pulling open the curtains, he clearly saw the bloody stains left behind. This was not there before. It was just left recently, because the blood was still slowly flowing downwards. At this moment, the west wolf smashed into the floor-to-ceiling window. This time, under the effect of the magic eye, Shenmue saw clearly. It was a raven. And the red light, it's the eyes that are emanating from it. Where did the crows come from? Shenmue asked in confusion. Immediately after, more and more crows started to hit the windows one after another. From a few scattered ones to looking up. It's all over the place. Shenmue looked at the ventilation holes by the window, thinking, could these crows have smelled my human scent? Plus the night affects them. So they're doing this weird thing, trying to break through the glass, to fly in, eat my flesh. Since they like to crash, Shenmue doesn't care. Then let them crash. Just happened to be idle. In a blink, the window glass was covered in blood. A thick layer. The view outside the window was so blurry that it was impossible to see anything. It embodied the word crazy. Shenmue activated his magic tools and scanned the area. Based on the colors, he could tell that the airspace in front of him had at least thousands of crows. Such a massive swarm of mutated crows. If they wanted to, they could. To peck a living person. Down to bare bones. In less than a minute. Hair disheveled. Muddy. Like they haven't been cleaned in ages. The stench travels through the pores, mixed with the smell of blood. The smell came in. This smell, kind of like a boiled chicken. Shenmue couldn't understand. Was he the only one in this area? Why were they targeting him? He checked the area chat channel. No one was talking about the crows. It seems like I'm the only one they targeted. It seems like I'm really the only one. Help. Anyone. Help me. At this moment, a faint cry for help suddenly came from behind the wall. It's a woman. Shenmue leaned in. He pressed his ear against it. His eyes widened. Besides the woman's cries for help, he could also hear the chaotic sound of flapping wings. His mind raced. Shenmue could basically be sure. In the next room. Most likely the nest of those crows. No wonder they've been eyeing me. Even a rabbit knows not to eat from its neighbor's garden. Shenmue smiled helplessly. Prepare for bed. Looks like tonight's sleep won't be easy to come by. Change location. Crows. Since they want to die, why not grant them their wish? Shenmue takes a few steps back. He raises his hand. He aims it at the wall. A fireball gathers in his palm, illuminating the entire room, pushing out, directly melting a big hole in the wall. You can clearly see the internal steel bars burning red hot, melting, dripping downwards like water droplets. Boom. Those crows swarmed in. It crashed into the fireball. Its fur instantly burst into flames. It turned into a firebird in an instant, one after another. They fell like rain. They knew they would die. But they still flocked to it. Or rather, they didn't have the fear of death in their minds at all. Thanks to the presence of the fireball, Shenmue could clearly see what was in the next room. What kind of scene it was. Compared to his line of sight, what he felt first was the strong smell of wet feathers, plus the fishy smell of the piled up corpses, and the smell of blood, mixing together. It's a real punch to the gut. Fortunately, Shenmue's adaptability is good. The fireball flies far away. The hole in the wall has plenty of room to pass through. Ah. The black raven surged, like a gushing fountain, toward Shenmue. The sounds were chaotic. You could see, they were all flapping wildly, without any order. Wings with no predictable pattern. A clenched fist in an instant. A fine powder appeared in the palm, slung out with all their might. The fog-like existence filled the entire conference room. Hundreds of crows simultaneously fell from the sky. The body hardened. The bird's claws gripped tightly. Then, at a speed visible to the naked eye, it turned into a thick liquid, melted away, over the white bones. It was impossible to tell who was who. The skull, ribs, leg bones piled up haphazardly. Picked clean, not a trace of meat left. Perfectly clean. Gag. The woman fell against the wall. Suddenly her face changed drastically. She vomited a mouthful of blood. She was also poisoned. Even if she wasn't poisoned, women wouldn't live long anyway. The marks from where the crows pecked at her body are too obvious. Her clothes are torn to shreds, with nothing to cover her. Her chest, calf, shoulder. You can see many bloody holes on his face. The more serious areas are white. He vomited blood nonstop. Only a few seconds later, he fell against the wall, completely unresponsive. Blood pouring from his 7 orifices. More terrifying than any horror movie makeup. It's horrifying. Kill successful. Congratulations, host, you have obtained an F-level double strike. Automatically upgraded to SSS level infinite strike. Check details. The F-grade double strike skill is a passive skill. When attacking other objects, there is a 1% chance to trigger a double strike. One attack counts as 2 attacks. And after upgrading to SSS level, the probability is increased to 100%, triggering at least 5 times with each attack. And up to 100 times. Completely random. Uncontrollable. Up to 100 times. Doesn't that mean I fire 1 bullet? It's the same as firing 100. Then 10 is 1,000. 100 is 10,000. Shenmue couldn't hide his excitement. This kind of experience where you can clearly feel that you've obviously become stronger, both physically and mentally. No matter how many times, he wouldn't even feel bored. Shenmue looked out the window. There were large flocks of crows in the sky. They seemed to sense the presence of the poison fog. They didn't dare enter the conference room. He then took out his gun from the system backpack. The ammunition replenished automatically. He raised both hands. Take aim. Pull the trigger. After a flash of fire from the muzzle, you successfully killed the bloodthirsty crow. Congratulations, host, you have earned 1 kill point. This shot triggered 38 consecutive hits. In other words, Shenmue only used 1 bullet to kill 38 bloodthirsty crows, and got 38 kill points. This is too cool. Shenmue couldn't help but smile. Then, he kept pulling the trigger. Start harvesting. Headshot. A crow pierced by a bullet falls in large numbers. But this number is still ridiculously high. Where do they even come from? Shenmue couldn't help but wonder. Or is it that this is only one of the nests? The whole building, or this area visible to the naked eye? Not so much. It's hard to explain. Teleporting to the roof of the opposite building. It's really not a good place to move around in the conference room. And there are bones everywhere. If you're not careful, you'll step on empty space. Shenmue was having a good time killing. How could he let the environment ruin his good mood? After he came out, the flock of bloodthirsty crows became even more agitated. Like the eve of a storm. Dark clouds hang heavy. This scene before us could be described as impenetrable darkness. That wouldn't be an exaggeration. The moon is nowhere to be seen. There's just a faint hint of moonlight. Shenmue activated his magic eyes. Daybreak arrived. There was no sun in the sky, but it was indistinguishable from daytime. Night retreated. Everything became clear. Facing the storm of crows. Purchase successful. Kill points have been deducted. Congratulations on obtaining the Vulcan Gatling. Open the system store. So many kill points. You have to find a way to spend them. Rifles are just too boring. Obviously, it has been modified. It can shoot 2,000 bullets continuously in one go. Only a weapon that continuously outputs is satisfying. Skills. Combined with infinite combos, the effect can only be described as explosive. He raised the Gatling gun with both hands. Shenmue tightly gripped the trigger and wouldn't let go. The 6 barrels started spinning. Faster and faster. Bullets shot out consecutively, under the darkness, forming a barrage. Shenmue didn't think so. The player. But they saw it all clearly. That guy's crazy. He's using a Gatling gun at night to shoot birds. Don't you think he's very manly? Very powerful? Women and men have different opinions. Don't forget. You were just holding him tightly. Who called him husband? The man's face turned red. He was embarrassed. Who wants to be outdone? He looked at Shenmue. He was unhappy. But that was all. What else could he do? Right? He's not stupid. Shenmue discovered that he was lucky. At least one shot could trigger 20 combos. He had never gotten 20 before. A few minutes later, Shenmue let go of the Gatling gun. The Gatling gun was on the ground. It was like a crutch. He was leaning on it. He let out a deep breath. He was utterly bewildered. although only a few minutes had passed. But he must have killed thousands of bloodthirsty crows. But looking at the sky, how come their numbers haven't decreased at all? These crows, could they possibly be infinitely dividing? After a certain amount of time, 1 splits into another, 2 split into 4, 4 split into 8. Of course, this is just Shenmu's guess. There's no evidence to prove it. He's had his fill of shooting bullets. Shenmu is getting tired of it. It's getting late. He's feeling a bit sleepy. He decided to finish it quickly. The next second, as Shenmu was thinking this, within the flock of bloodthirsty crows, something strange happened. The crows that were originally vying with each other, and colliding, to get to a piece of flesh, stopped. The bloodthirsty crows, who had only cared about filling their bellies, were actually starting to change their approach. They were abandoning their mindless attacks. But Shenmu didn't think. They were trying to back down. The way they were madly flocking towards one point, it didn't look like. It's like they're all holding back something big. Besides that, the couple outside the buildings. Si-young noticed the strange scene. What are those crows doing? Why did they suddenly stop attacking? The woman was curious. Looks at the man. Asks, "You ask me. Who am I asking?" The man looks back. With a look of disbelief, the woman's expression vanishes. She throws her arms around the man. He squeezed hard. An animal who thinks with his body. Of course, he's an exception, he said, turning his head towards Shenmu, his gaze filled with longing. Hiss. Go easy. The man immediately jumped up and took a few steps back. He kept his distance from the woman. Seeing his woman, he felt very uncomfortable. He could only say, "Right. That's right. I only know how to think with my lower body." But who was the one just now, moaning, "Daddy, you better try to get stronger. Otherwise, I can call you Daddy today. Tomorrow, I don't know who I'll call. My own advantage." To survive, the man remained silent. He hated that he wasn't a woman. On the other side, Shenmu finally figured out what the bloodthirsty crows were plotting. They gathered and formed a giant bloodthirsty crow. Nearly 10,000 bloodthirsty crows combined together. Unless you look closely, you might not even notice it. You just think it was a massive creature. Phew. Its wings beat, creating a strong wind. Stones the size of basketballs and footballs are blown half a meter. Dust swirls, flying wildly. Oh. The bloodthirsty raven opens its beak. This sound, but it comes from my whole body. Not exactly in unison. Not quite a mess either. It's somewhere in between. So weird. Oh my god. They can actually combine into one. The woman exclaimed in fear. She couldn't help but worry about Shenmu. Such a great man. It would be such a waste to die like this. The one who really deserves to die is living a good life. Thinking this, she couldn't help but glance at the man. He didn't notice at all. The corner of his lips couldn't help but turn up. There's only one sentence I want to give to Shenmu. Show off and get struck by lightning. I thought Shenmu would be in a tough spot facing that level of monster. His chances were slim. Running away now might still give him a 1% chance of survival. Little did I know, Shenmu gave himself a 100% chance of winning. In his heart. Just kidding. Dealing with this monster would require the use of his discerning eye. He snapped his fingers, and a row of fire dragons appeared. They're lined up neatly. 6 of them in total. What is that? Flapping its wings, charging towards us. Burn it. Shenmu ordered softly. He wants it like a movie, like the male protagonist in an anime, shouting with such passion. It's impossible. After all, that emotion hasn't been stirred up. It's a complete stomp. Where would the emotion come from? My heart is completely unmoved. In Shenmu's eyes, this giant crow looks incredibly powerful. But actually, it's about the same as Han shouting. Not worth treating with care. The dragon's mouth opens. Boom. The power washes over the giant crow. Then you can see a large number of bloodthirsty crows, burnt to a crisp, completely unrecognizable as birds. Large patches were peeling off. The giant crow's body was like a 1,000-mile embankment, collapsing in an instant, losing more than half of itself. Ah. This man's mouth is wide open. His eyes are wide. Words of love. To put it bluntly, it's complex. Extremely complex. He's so strong. Could he be an S-rank skill holder? Shenmu's admiration was all over his face. At this moment, he was unusually excited. He couldn't help but clench his legs. Like this man was so strong. Even if she had to pay him, she would be willing. What a silly woman. Hearing and seeing the woman's behavior, the man just felt like laughing. S-class? Are you kidding me? This is definitely SSS level. But he didn't say a word. The reason is simple. He was already under Shenmu's control. He had no power to fight back. He even went out of his way to boost others' morale and undermine his own. A man can't imagine how low someone has to be to do something like this, especially after seeing the woman get excited. It's one thing, but to lower your gaze at this hand. For Shenmu, I can't help but envy them. Why can't I have such a good fate? Awaken an SSS class skill? He must have saved the galaxy in his last life. The giant crow completely vanished. A huge pillar of fire shot up into the sky, breaking through the clouds. Congratulations, host, for completing the hidden mission. The extermination of the bloodthirsty crows. Reward, bloodthirsty crow egg ×1. Another hidden mission. 4 others. Whether you encounter the killer clown squad, or a flock of bloodthirsty crows, he's definitely a total loser. But Shenmu felt that he was incredibly lucky. He not only got countless kill points, but also received an extra egg. Shenmu opened his system backpack, and found the bloodthirsty crow egg. He checked the details. I want to confirm. Is this thing used for hatching? Or for eating? after activating automatic hatching. Is it 100% bloodthirsty raven? Without hesitation, click to confirm hatching. It's a sudden thing, it's a horse. What ability? Let it hatch first. Handsome guy. I want to dedicate my body and soul to you. Give you monkeys. Can you give me a chance? Woo woo. Suddenly, a woman's voice broke the silence. A voice came from afar. Shenmue couldn't help but feel ashamed. Was she really that crazy? The man was also sweating profusely. He hurriedly covered the woman's mouth. He hadn't expected her to go this far. Whether the woman left or not didn't matter. He was worried that she would attract Shenmue, a god of death. You'd lose your life. You're crazy. The man wouldn't let go of the woman's mouth for anything. He glared and said, wait until Shenmue. And that dragon disappeared completely. Then he finally let out a breath of relief. The woman seized the opportunity. Get your hands off him. She scoffed. Trying hard to survive. What's wrong with that? Besides, I did fall in love with him. It could be called love at first sight. Not an exaggeration. Crazy. Don't feel like talking to you. Go to sleep. Cut. The woman ignored the man. Came to the window. Looking at the place where Shenmue was last. Sighing repeatedly. It's a pity. Too bad. I don't know how long it's been. A system prompt popped up in front of me. Heaven ranking. Is the Earth ranking going to be announced again? I wonder who will be on the list this time. It doesn't matter to us who's on the list anyway. Why are you so obsessed with that? The man turned over. And mumbled. It's my business. None of your concern. Look at your disgusted face. Go ahead and make the list yourself if you think you're better. The woman snorted in disdain. The mountain is better. This is a strong-mouthed king. You can't count on them at all. Don't let it be played by them for nothing. You'll also lose your life. At this moment, in the World Chat channel, the discussion about the heavenly ranking and the earthly ranking is equally lively. They cannot firmly hold the top spot on both rankings. Of course not. Yesterday was the first day. Everyone came in a hurry and didn't have time to adjust. Today is different. World. I saw several big shots, killing hundreds of zombies at a time. Not to mention the existence of guilds. This greatly increased the killing efficiency. So, that guy named Shenmue. I'm actually quite lucky. I got the first place rewards for both charts for free. We were just talking. Boo. Kosaka Koyo. Kills. 155. What the hell? The first one is a Sakura person. They're a bit too excited. Who says they aren't? If you Great Xia people aren't happy with this, you can work harder. Maybe you'll see our backsides. It's inevitable that they'll argue. The list is still being released. Zhao Chenyang. Kills. 197. Chester Montfort. Kills. 209. It seems there are quite a few foreigners on the list. They've already announced up to 58th place. We're from Daxia, and it seems like there are only 6 of us. Of course, Daxia may have billions of people. But besides Daxia, how many foreigners are there? 6 people isn't that bad. This is true. You see, Little Sakura only has 2 people. Normally, Huajing, our Great Xia, is very safe. It's not like those hawk-like places, where there are shootings every day. They have been exposed to guns and ammunition since childhood. They definitely adapt faster than us. Brothers, don't give up. We can still come from behind. And win. In a blink of an eye, the list had already been announced up to the top 10. The top 10 names were much more captivating than anyone else on the list. The strong and the weak. We'll see who wins here. 10th place. Hinata Koyanagi. Kills. 1088. Ha ha ha. Long live Sakura. Our Sakura country is the strongest. 9th place. Marin, Mom. Kill count, 1288. Aldous Huxley. Kill count, 2879. Tomoda Yuya. Kill count, 2880. Seeing another Sakura person on the list, the number of Sakura Nation's comments in the World Chat channel has increased significantly. They feel proud. Su Zhenxiong. Kills, 3222. Jin Jian. Kills, 3546. Jin family's big score. Amazing. That one called Xiaoshan Shenhu. Is she in the top 10? Why aren't you talking? You're not sick, come out for a walk. Brother. 4th place. Hermar, Gunther. Kill count, 3677. Now, the top 3. Everyone held their breath. The speaking speed has also slowed down quite a bit. Everyone is waiting for the announcement. Concentrate. Who has time to type and speak? Ambrose. Biller. Kills, 3777. Lakin. Hawthorne. Kill count, 3985. It's good there's no Sakura. Otherwise, who knows how crazy it would have been. Do you have them? Maybe we would have been first in Sakura country. So far, the Hawk's overall combat strength is significantly stronger. Whatever. As long as it's not a Sakura person in first place. Next, it's time to announce the highly anticipated top of the leaderboard. First place, Shenmue. Kills, 23,998. Seeing this string of numbers, most chat channels first stopped talking directly. After being stunned for a moment, a barrage of question marks flooded the screen. I didn't see wrong, did I? 20,000. Almost 24,000. This is too scary. Even if you remove the 2 at the very beginning, it's still more than a second place. Japanese people, speak up. Speak up. Don't be silent. This guy named Shenmue. He's a real person. Damn. He's so strong. Meanwhile, let's shift our attention back to the man and woman. We see the woman, incredibly excited, saying, so he's Shenmue. The man who was ranked first in both categories couldn't utter a word. He was crushed beyond belief. Yesterday, he had exerted himself, and only managed to kill 12 monsters. The gap was like the distance between heaven and earth. It's not something you can easily catch up to. The man gave up. He realized that he could never catch up in this lifetime. Thinking about it actually relieved him a lot. After that, it was the turn of the heavenly ranking. First place, Shenmue. When the first name was announced, no one was surprised. Nothing could have been more reasonable. So who will be the one? Who is qualified to be the one? Claim successful. Do you want to claim your reward for being on the celestial ranking? Claimed successfully. Congratulations, host. You have earned one skill draw chance. Seeing this draw chance, Shenmue smiled. Without hesitation, he used it immediately. He was looking forward to drawing a more powerful skill. It's fine if I get pulled for a job. Anyway, the system will bail me out. This is the advantage of a dual system. One system pulls me for a job, and there's another system. Skill lottery in progress. Lottery successful. Congratulations, host, you have obtained an A-level skill. Slay. View skill details. After obtaining this skill, Shenmue will be able to see the health bar of the zombie monsters. When he encounters them, you can trigger the slay effect. Instant kill. And it cannot be resisted. It can be said to be quite violent. Of course, even more violent is still to come. Automatically upgraded to SSS level slaying. After checking, Shenmue learned the biggest difference between SSS level and a level is the kill line has been raised. Raised to how much? 50%. It was originally 5%. That means, for others, zombies, monsters are lives. For Shenmue, they are only half lives. For a bonus skill. What else could Shenmue ask for? Moreover, it's still so strong. Shenmue couldn't wait to give it a try. He wanted to see how powerful this skill was. He took out the Elite Difficulty Trial card. He opened his system backpack and found the Elite Difficulty Trial card. Phew, take it out. Standing on the rooftop. The wind is slightly noisy. Hold the trial card between your two fingers. Shoot it out. The familiar vortex door opens again. Walk into the vortex door and come out again. Even Shenmue, who had prepared himself mentally, couldn't help but be startled by the scene before him. He had imagined many scenarios, but he never thought of this one. It looked very much like a medieval castle, constructed from large blue stone bricks. On the semicircular windows, there was no glass. It's woven with wooden strips into the shape of veins. But compared to these, what's more captivating is the mountain of gold coins before you. Yes, gold coins. At a glance, they're all gold coins, as well as the gold artifacts buried within. Gold swords, crowns, countless gems. Kick open the treasure chest. It's full of gold and silver jewelry. If I were in my previous world, I would be thrilled to be transported to a place like this. Shenmue could die of happiness. So many gold coins. If you take them all back, become the richest man, effortlessly. Don't even mention yourself. You could ensure your family's security for generations. Strange. Why can't I see any zombie monsters? Shenmue looked puzzled. Could it be that what is written as a trial zone is actually a bonus level? But so many gold coins. Shenmue doesn't need them anyway. Suddenly, Shenmue noticed something was off. He thought it was because the mountain of gold coins was too high, so there would be some movement. It was normal. But gradually, he realized he was sinking to his ankles. It stuck fast. I don't want to pull myself free. If I try to pull away, I'll feel pain. The edge of the gold coin isn't sharp, but it's still. Shenmue has reason to suspect these gold coins. It is the monster itself. Snapping its fingers, summoning a dragon's head, opening its mouth, breathing out dragon's breath. Under the scorching flames, the gold coin seemed to feel pain and retreated back. Then it quickly solidified, taking a humanoid form. It looked almost identical to the water giant, except one was made of water, and the other was made of gold, with dazzling blue light in its eyes. Besides that, if I had to say, the gold giant wasn't wearing a knight's helmet. He pushed his hands toward the dragon's head. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Countless gold coins, like a tornado, attacked the dragon's head. The coins didn't even reach the dragon's head before they were melted into liquid. They flowed down. Shenmue waved his hand, causing the dragon head to dissipate. Why not press the attack? The reason is simple. In this space, melting a large amount of gold would be very unfavorable to Shenmue. His body is not made of gold. It could be fearless of fire. After not being attacked by dragon's breath, the gold giant didn't intend to let Shenmue go. He pointed his arms towards Shenmue. A large amount of gold coins poured down in a rush. Such a huge number could crush someone to death. This may be the death many people dream of, but it's definitely not what Shenmue dreams of. He teleports behind the gold giant. A fine powder appears in his hand. He throws it out. The poisonous mist instantly spreads throughout the entire castle. However, for these gold coins, it had no effect. The gold giant turned quickly. Two golden tornadoes swirled against the wall, moving horizontally. Where they passed, there were countless scratches. Shenmue put on the earth armor. He transformed into a giant nearly as tall as the gold giant. The stone giant was at least 5 or 6 meters tall. It rolled and took a huge step forward, struggling through the sea of gold coins. It approached the gold coin giant. Once within range, its 5 fingers clenched into a fist. It punched the giant with all its might. Splash! A large hole instantly appeared in its body. But soon, it was covered up by the gold coins. It was filled in. On the other hand, the health bar above its head had only decreased by less than 1%. That 1%. He did it using the original dragon flame breath. Is it the way of the 5 elements, where they generate and overcome each other? Only fire can overcome metal. Shenmue turned and walked towards the wall. He let the golden dragon tornado attack him, but it couldn't inflict any damage. He stood still. He raised his fist. He slammed his fist against the castle wall. He found out by surprise that the wall couldn't be broken. It seemed his movement was restricted. Shenmue concluded that keeping earth armor on had a defensive effect. At the same time, the flames began to gather at the top of the ancient castle. 1 meter, 2 meters, 3 meters, 4 meters, 5 meters. It grew larger and larger. It's like a giant water balloon. You can clearly see the layers of flames swirling within. And on the outer edge of the flames are several flames forming an outer ring, constantly rotating and weaving, continuously expanding the fireball's diameter. Since he can only use metal to counter fire, Shenmue decided to charge up his ultimate move and take this guy out in an instant. As long as his health bar drops to 50%, he can trigger a killing blow. In a flash, right above the castle, it had completely turned into a sea of fire. Shenmue lowered his hands. The flames instantly lost control. Like a tide, a waterfall, it fell straight down. The terror of the momentum, it was indescribable. The texture is like lava, washing over the golden giant and the golden mountain, swallowing them all, enveloping them, then melting. In a blink, belly. Shenmue looked up and saw. He didn't know why, but when he could see the monster's health bar, Shenmue felt that even if a god descended, he could still fight. At this moment, its neck, and beneath it, a large amount of gold was melted into liquid, unable to help it recover its body. The gold giant collapsed instantly, disintegrated. Everything returned to calm. It was powerless to resist anymore. All the gold coins are melted into liquid, rising. This color looks more like the sunset than the sunset outside the window. You have successfully killed the gold giant. Congratulations, host, for clearing the elite trial grounds. Mission rewards have been distributed. Congratulations, host, you have obtained the Dragon Slayer Sword +1. Universal Gold Coins x 100,000. Rehydration Fluid x 5. The other things are easy to understand. These universal gold coins left Shenmue a bit puzzled. After clicking to view, he learned it's including replacing kill points to purchase goods in the system mall. The exchange rate is 1:1. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called universal gold coins. But right now, besides the system mall, replacing kill points, Shenmue can't think of what else can I use these gold coins for. He doesn't lack critical strike points anyway. He still has tens of thousands left unused. Forget it. Just keep them. They'll be useful later. Shenmue thought to himself. Later, the vortex gate opened. Shenmue had no intention of staying in the castle for long. There was nothing here worth remembering. Wearing the armor of the earth, he walked out. Who is it? A monster? Are you kidding me? It's appearing. Don't just stand there. Finish it off quickly. Shenmue never expected. This time, the exit of the vortex gate would actually be in someone else's stronghold. He watched as everyone around him picked up their gun barrel raised, pointed at his own dark, gaping muzzle. It's just, this vortex gate really knows how to pick a spot. It's probably worried it'll be idle, you know. Now, to explain that I'm human, this is just the skill effect. Shenmue didn't think they would listen. There were 4 people in total, gathered around the fire. He could see chicken wings skewered on an iron rod, ready to be roasted over the fire. One person pulled the trigger, immediately bringing the other 3 back to reality. They pulled the triggers at the same time. You have to be decisive at this moment. If you hesitate, the one who loses their life will definitely be you. Although this monster is huge, maybe its movements are slow. In comparison, you are not completely without advantages. Dust swirled. The very next second, as the young man was thinking this, Shenmue had already raised his fist. Like a meteorite from outer space, he smashed down hard. Wham! Blood erupted, splattering the other 3. Close your eyes tightly. Open them slowly. The feeling on your face intensifies to the limit at this moment. You can even clearly feel the thick blood slowly flowing downwards. Your hand stops moving. You wouldn't even think that the seemingly heavy body of this stone giant in front of you, the speed of their attacks, is so fast it's a blur. The human eye can hardly see it. They are incredibly focused. Kill successful. Congratulations, host, you have obtained an F level accuracy increase. Automatically upgraded to SSS level perfect accuracy. You. In firearms. Unlimited. Whether throwing rocks, or shooting throwing knives. Hidden weapons are all accurate. Spread out. Use skills. Bullets are useless against this guy. The man seems to be the leader of this small team. The sole figure. As soon as he said this, the other 2 immediately retreated quickly, choosing to drop their guns, instead of putting them back in their system backpacks. That would waste too much time, and waste more brain power. As long as we survive, we'll pick it up later. The gun won't run away. Grenade. Pull the pin. Black smoke billows out. Then it was flung towards Shenmue, spinning in the air. The explosion was quite powerful, but for Shenmue, it was like a slight tremor. If he didn't pay attention, he might even ignore it. There was no way that good gear could be an SSS level skill with both offense and defense. If it was hit by an F, skills like king level breaking defense, if it gets out, wouldn't it be a laughing stock? Damn it. The bespectacled man is dissatisfied. He pulls out another long-handled grenade. He pulls out the fuse. He throws it. The effect is still negligible. His strength is far from enough. How could this be? The man with glasses collapsed on the ground. He propped himself up with his hands behind him. His legs went weak. Weakness swept over his entire body. He had never encountered such a terrifying monster. Don't give up. The captain spoke again. Thanks to the glasses guy delaying time. His skill has a long cast time, and it can't be interrupted. Drawn. Red light appeared. Head. A great sword. 2 meters tall. Summoning skill. Shenmue was quite interested. Take it down. The captain ordered. The knight acknowledged the order. He holds a large sword upright with both hands. He runs towards Shenmue. He makes a clanging sound. It gives the impression that it could fall apart at any moment. A closer look reveals Under the rust. Several not-so-obvious cracks. It's fine against ordinary zombies. Facing slightly stronger elite monsters. The result is only getting smashed flat by a single punch. Turning into scrap metal. Instant kill. The captain shows a look of despair. He steps back, not paying attention to his feet. He trips and falls to the ground. Shenmue walked up to him. He reached out his hand. He grabbed the man's head. His fingers squeezed with force. The sound of bones breaking wasn't very loud. Blood squeezed out between his fingers. He released his grip. The body fell to the ground. His head is severely deformed. It's more abstract than abstract art. Kill successful. Congratulations, host, you have acquired the E-level Night Summoning skill. It has automatically upgraded to SSS level Night Summoning. The number of summons is no longer limited. The nights you summon. Not only can you choose your appearance, but you can also choose the type of weapon, such as a shield, a great sword, a battle axe, a broadsword, a warhammer, meteor hammer. Each night you summon can exist for 24 hours. After 24 hours, they will automatically disappear. You can also manually recall them. There are only 2 people left. Shenmue doesn't plan to let either of them go. Peacefully coexisting in a world like this is simply a fantasy. Brief peace doesn't represent anything. Once faced with life or death, the bestial nature of the man's profits left unchecked will erupt in an instant. Bang. He forcefully clenched his 5 fingers, scooping out a big hole. Boom. He then mixed the tightly gripped dirt and stones into a ball, and threw it towards the 2 people. 100% hit, perfectly delivering its effect. Under the immense power, the 2 people's upper bodies shattered in an instant, turning into a large swathe of crimson, fan-shaped splatter marks. Kill successful. Thunder. Before upgrade, automatically generate 3 long-handled grenades daily. After upgrade, unlimited quantity, high explosive range, and it can detonate 3 times in a row. Wherever you go, it explodes there. It's not an exaggeration to call you a human bomb. Kill successful. Skill. Automatically upgraded to SSS level random equipment enhancement. Below the F-grade skills, you can increase the rate of fire, accuracy, destructive power, etc. Or you can increase the hardness of a dagger, sharpness. While the SSS grade random equipment enhancement, Shenmue picked up the rifle that fell on the ground. Confirm enhancement. Enhancing. Enhancement successful. Congratulations, you have obtained a grenade launcher. There is no limit to the number of enhancements you can use, but the same object can only be enhanced once. Otherwise, it'll be endless nesting. It won't be long before Shenmue can create a weapon that can destroy everything with a single button. Despite that, this system is still very abnormal, especially for weapons and equipment that are already powerful. The effect is even more terrifying. After confirming that no one was around, Shenmue removed his earth armor, sat down by the bonfire, and started roasting the meat that the 4 of them didn't have time to enjoy. The flames crackled and danced, gradually changing the color of the red meat. Judging by the number of chairs, there should be 2 more people. This stone was moved by someone. The marks are quite obvious. At this time of day, for Shenmue, he has already done enough killing. He wants to savor this moment of peace. And the place he is in is a battlefield. Front, back, left, right, all directions. The formation automatically forms, one after another. Ironclad knights almost 3 meters tall. Their hands grip swords. The blades point straight down. Their posture is relaxed, slowly emerging from within. There are 12 knights in total. They are spaced a few meters apart. They stand guard with their swords by the basketball court fence. Anyone, zombies, or monsters that get too close, will be immediately killed with a sword. The chicken wings are almost done. It's already reached a level crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. Just, it lacks some flavor. Only the taste of the chicken itself. Salt, soy sauce, MSG, none of it. Not enough. They mainly sell finished food products that don't need to be cooked again. They're ready to eat. I guess the designers didn't expect that people would be in a world of slaughter and still feel like having an outdoor barbecue. It's tasteless. It's a shame to throw it away. There's no other way. I can only open the World Trade Center. It's a grenade launcher that was transformed. This thing is useless to him. In terms of power, it's fine for the high explosive chain grenade. The damage of a single high explosive chain grenade is much higher. It could instantly make the entire basketball court sink a meter or 2. Grenade launcher. With 6 grenades. Change it to a seasoning suitable for barbecue. As soon as the post was published, there were 7 or 8 replies immediately. Shenmue again. Is that the one who topped both charts? Barbecue marinade. I'm still eating irregularly, while he's leisurely barbecuing. I'm not going to sleep. I'll go find them now. Shenmue couldn't help but frown. These guys, don't they sleep at night? They're clinging to his leg, begging to be taken care of, even showing off their good figures. There are a lot of people with long legs, not a small number. Shenmue didn't care much about those. He was not interested at all. He just ignored them. He was still waiting for the barbecue seasoning. He wanted to eat his fill and sleep. There were already quite a few items listed. It refreshes on the right side of the screen. For example, ketchup, salad dressing, etc. Not to mention a small amount of these things individually paired with barbecue. Shenmue thought it was a bit strange. He decided to wait patiently. Fortunately, the weather is hot enough. You don't have to worry about the chicken wings getting cold right away. Just set the cooked ones aside. Keep going with the next batch. There are more than 30 of them in total. And next to the basketball court, there's a mountain shaped like an ingot. That's used for viewing. We'll go to the nearby supermarket to find resources. Let's see if we can find salt, soy sauce, that kind of seasoning. But the duo came back empty-handed. They realized something was wrong. They stopped. I have bad eyesight. Could you take a look for me? Are there a few people missing? Also, what are those things by the wall? The guy with the buzz cut raises his hand. He pats his companion on the shoulder. The guy with glasses raises his hand. He uses his middle finger to push up the glasses on the bridge of his nose. Old Lou and his group have suffered a misfortune. We can't go back. We're doomed. Doomed? The buzz cut guy hurriedly turns his head. He looks at the guy with glasses. He asks, The guy sitting by the fire. I've never seen him. And there are clear signs of a fight on the ground. The blood splattered a couple of meters away. Do you think, in this situation, Lao Lu and the others still have a chance to survive? The man with glasses also turned his head. Meeting his gaze, he asked, "Damn it. Go and get revenge for old Lu and the others." The buzz cut guy thought he was a very righteous person. This matter can't just be let go. I advise you to give it up. The guy with glasses raised his hand, stopping him at the buzz cut guy's chest. West? Iron Knights. There are 12 in total. Not only are they newer than Xiao Zhang's knights, but they are also taller. Han. These 12 enhanced knights. Are you sure you can beat them? The buzz cut guy fell silent. He felt his body stop moving forward and back. The glasses guy lowered his arms. Don't think about it. While you still have the chance. Just get out of here. That guy is at least an S-class skill. Maybe even higher. S-class. Hearing these two words, the buzz cut didn't say more. He nodded. Hurriedly retraced his steps. He was incredibly grateful to the guy with glasses. If not for him stopping him, he would probably be. I was already cut to pieces by the 12 Iron Knights. With their swords. S-class skill is indeed not to be underestimated. 5 small bottles of sesame seeds, 3 small bottles of 5 spice powder, 3 small bottles of black pepper, 8 small bottles of barbecue seasoning, 5 small bottles of chili powder. 9 different seasonings in total. Quite a variety, I'd say. And a considerable amount. Combined, it's dozens of bottles. Shenmue directly agreed to the trade. Trade successful. Grenade launcher, 1. Grenade, 6. Congratulations, host, you have received 5 small bottles of white sesame seeds, 3 small bottles of 5 spice powder, 3 small bottles of black pepper. Qin Lu. Shenmue sprinkled barbecue seasoning on the chicken wings while checking the information of the trader. He felt that the name was familiar. Like I've seen her somewhere before. Wait. Shenmue suddenly remembered. The woman who traded with him last time. It seemed like it was this woman. He didn't think too much about it. He picked up a marinated chicken wing and took a bite. This flavor immediately elevates the richness to several levels. The crispy, oily skin, paired with white sesame seeds, and various seasonings. One word. Amazing. These freshly baked chicken wings are way better than that canned beef. Trading partner Qin Lu has sent you a private message. Do you agree to accept it? Didn't I block this function earlier? Action. Wondered. Don't block private messages. As soon as I open the World Trade Center, it's all about clinging to someone's leg, begging to be taken care of. Shenmue can't stand it anymore. I simply closed the function. Out of sight. Out of mind. Or the trading partner is outside the rules. Shenmue was quite curious what the other party wanted from him. He chose to agree. I have some things here that you might be interested in. I want to continue trading with you. Do you have any more guns or weapons? With a directory. Semi-finished spicy crawfish x 10 bags. Canned seafood x 24 cans. Business authentic leather shoes plus retro suit. Don't say it. After a look, Shenmue is interested in quite a few things. There's reason to believe. The mall was lucky and yielded plenty. At this time, enough supplies. Solar/rechargeable RV. RV? With this, we won't have to worry about not having a clean and comfortable place to sleep anymore. Shenmue immediately replied, I have them. How many do you need? Qin Lu, the more, the better. Shenmue stood up and picked up the other 3 rifles that had fallen to the ground. He knew exactly why Qin Lu had come to him. It was because of the weapons in the system mall. They were too ordinary. He had super weapons. These could always take priority over the system mall in Shenmue's role as a weapons dealer. He would always prioritize his own weapons. The enhancement was successful. Congratulations, host, you have obtained the secondary explosion effect. Secondary explosion effect. Shenmue studied it carefully. It turned out that the bullets, even the most common ones, as long as they hit, they will cause secondary explosion damage. One bullet can produce double or even triple the effect. This is something that the weapons in the system store can't achieve. Let's put that aside for now and pick up another rifle. Continue strengthening it. Reinforcement successful. Congratulations, host, you have obtained the burning effect. As the literal meaning describes, after bullets hit the target, they will ignite and deal continuous damage. Set it aside first. Then, this is the last gun. Reinforcement successful. Congratulations, host, you have obtained the bullet tracking effect. The bullets fired from this gun have a certain tracking effect, but it's not 100%. It has a limited range. For example, a deviation of 30 centimeters from the target. It will be automatically corrected. For ordinary players, it's coming out. It's equivalent to F, or even E-level skills. But for Shenmue, it will only be put in his backpack and become a beautiful useless item gathering dust. It's not as cost-effective as an RV. Just release your skills. Isn't this more convenient? A rifle doesn't have the explosive power of a Vulcan Gatling. The feeling of output is so refreshing. On the other hand, Qin Lu, who had been waiting for Shenmue's reply, stared intently at the virtual screen, her fingers clenched into a fist. She was very nervous. Anxious. Was my attitude not good enough? Why did they suddenly stop contacting me? The very next second, as she was thinking this, on the screen, a list of folded items suddenly popped up. Instead of worrying about the items on the list, she first put her hand over her chest and let out a sigh of relief. Then she clicked to expand the list. They looked like ordinary weapons on the surface, but she chose to view details. Her beautiful eyes widened in disbelief. She found it hard to believe. A secondary explosion, burning damage, and bullet tracking. This was clearly beyond her expectations. Each one taken out was enough to rival an F-class, even E-level skills. This person, who exactly is he? Qin Lu has seen the heavenly and earth rankings. She knows Shenmue has occupied the top spot for 2 consecutive days, and with an incredibly terrifying number of kills. She knows he is strong. He's very powerful, but I never would have imagined that he would be wealthy enough to pull out weapons of this caliber to exchange resources. Qin Lu couldn't imagine what it would look like inside Chen Mu's backpack, what kind of scene it would be. Her weakness limited her imagination. Chen Mu, how? Qin Lu, very good. Please post it on your side. After Chen Mu replies with no problem, open the World Trading Center. Edit the content. Confirm and send. The comments section is still very enthusiastic. Front row to catch the boss. The bullet explodes a second time. It deals burning damage after hitting. The bullet tracks its target. These guns feel more powerful than my skills. Get rid of the word feel. He just casually pulls out things he doesn't need, making us all look up to him. This time, before everyone could even respond and flatter Chen Mu. The trade was successful, and the platform disabled the reply function. Its weight was lowered half a minute later. Set to private. Only the parties involved in the transaction can see the reminder. Looking at the almost 6-meter-long motorhome in front of him, Chen Mu didn't expect in the transaction list. At first, Chen Mu was aiming for just this motorhome. Close the system. Chen Mu couldn't wait to open the car door and stepped inside. 2 words. Clean. Kitchen. Bathroom. Shower room. The bedroom is small but tidy. It has everything. I lay down on the bed. It was actually a Simmons mattress. My whole body relaxed. My closed eyes suddenly opened. I sat up. Chen Mu suddenly remembered something. He muttered to himself. Random equipment enhancement. Shouldn't it be more than just firearms? The RV is also considered equipment. He wasn't sure about this. Thinking more isn't as good as trying it out yourself. Can we upgrade and reinforce the RV? Actually, we can. Chen Mu's face was full of surprise. Of course. It's definitely reinforced. Reinforcement successful. The RV. He quickly waved his hand. Erased the system panel. The black chassis is paired with a military green body. It's square. It looks like a fortress. Full defense. The steel plate is thick. Ordinary pistols. Rifle bullets. It can't be penetrated at all. The window glass is also 5-star bulletproof. It has a truck-like appearance. It has 8 wheels. On the lifting platform behind the car. Carrying. It has sharp edges. It's very cool. Suitable for short distance travel. It's about 13 meters long. 3 meters wide. 4 meters high. A separate bedroom. Living room sofa area. The most important thing about the lift table is that it has 2 levels. The roof can be folded and retracted. With air conditioning. Rainwater collector plus automatic water filtration system. Can efficiently charge thermal energy. The overall design uses a lot of wood and metal colors. It looks very upscale. The whole thing also gives a sense of comfort. It has a homey atmosphere. It's 3 guns casually enhanced. Could be exchanged for something like this. Chen Mu felt it was a great deal. Taking off his shoes. Laying on the double bed. Feeling the softness of the bed beneath him. Chen Mu didn't forget to turn on the air conditioner. A wave of coolness came over him. He didn't want to think about anything right now. He was full and satisfied. It was time to sleep and rest. Tomorrow morning, he was going to play until he dropped. He couldn't play without replenishing his energy. How could that be? There wouldn't be a problem with wasting electricity. Thermal energy. Chen Mu doesn't need that much heat. He also confirmed it with the system. As long as there is enough heat, the RV's conversion system will run, storing electrical energy. It's equivalent to Chen Mu himself. He is a walking infinite source of energy. He fell asleep quickly. He hadn't been asleep for long. Near the basketball court, a group of people appeared. Such a big RV. There must be a lot of food inside. If we could get this thing, then we'll be rich. Sleeping with the lights on at night. Clearly hasn't experienced the harsh realities of life. Let's teach him the ways of the world. Wait. Look closely. Next to the car. Those tall, dark figures. Human. Impossible. How can a human be that big? The RV's light is a weak, yellowish glow. The light source is also quite far away, so it's hard to make out the rider's whole appearance. Little monkey. Go over there with your flashlight and take a good look. What are those? The leader of the group, a man named Zhou Chaowei, ordered a thin boy. Oh. The boy reluctantly agreed. Holding a flashlight. That was about to die. Getting closer to the past. Acting as a scout. When he was 2 or 3 meters away from the iron fence, the little monkey stopped, slowly raising the flashlight diagonally, shining directly on the knight's helmet. The T-shaped closed-eye mouth window. Pitch black. He couldn't see anything clearly. Combined with the surrounding atmosphere, he was terrified. He took a few steps back, not noticing a protruding stone under his feet. He landed with a thud on the ground. He was about to shout. When he quickly raised both hands, he covered his mouth. In this bit of experience, he still had some. Cold sweat poured down. His eyes trembled. He wanted to get up, but found himself quite powerless. There's no other way. I can only use my hands, and simultaneously move my legs. Slowly back up a little bit. A few dozen steps. There by the side. What's wrong? What did you see? Several people helped the little monkey up from the ground. The light from the flashlight was too weak. They were standing far away. They could only see a vague outline. It looked like a person. But they insisted.